a Kryptonian who started his cultivation journey through the multiverse. Hello again, dear adventurers of the multiverse. Thanks for joining us once more on this epic journey. Remember, this story is pure science fiction from our wild imagination. So don't go trying to summon dragons in your backyard. The rights of this amazing novel belong entirely to its original author. We are only the narrators. Do you want more adventures? Show some love to our YouTube channel with a subscription and a like. And if you want exclusive content, our Patreon is waiting for you with open arms. Chapter 51. After a while, Chen Tianqi recovered from his injuries under the sun, put on his robe again, and chased in the direction where the six-path Supreme Saint had fled. Although he didn't hold much hope in his heart, as it had been so long, he should have run far away, but he still wanted to go and see, what if he couldn't resist the Hellfire divine power? A golden light passed from a distance and landed on the sea. Chen Tianqi frowned. The breath of the nether fire divine ability was cut off here. It seemed that the six-path Supreme Saint had escaped. In order to prevent this old man from playing tricks on him, he directly expanded his spiritual sense and searched carefully in the sea area. After a while, he found a sea area with a strong breath of the netherworld. After searching with his spiritual sense, he found a floating banner on the sea. Chen Tianqi picked it up and saw that the banner was made of human bones, with some gray and white runes looming, and 3 skulls of different sizes were inlaid on the top. Isn't this the 3 gods' white bone banner? No wonder this old man ran so fast. It turned out that he threw down the magic weapon to resist the nether fire divine ability and ran away by himself. Since the six-path Supreme Saint had already run away without a trace, there was no need for Chen Tianqi to chase him anymore. It would be better to hurry back to Jian Island to search for spoils. Chen Tianqi returned to Jian Island. At this time, Jian Island was affected by Chen Tianqi's 5 elements divine light and the tsunami caused by the self-explosion of the nascent soul. The entire island was in ruins, with various house and building fragments floating in the sea. Most of the land was destroyed and sank, and had been submerged by the ocean. Chen Tianqi looked at the incomplete island and thought that this giant cave would not be destroyed. I was still counting on catching something as compensation for being hit by a Tsar nuclear bomb. With a thought, Chen Tianqi opened the spiritual shield, plunged into the sea, and flew to the underground of the submerged part of the island. Chen Tianqi passed through the turbulent sea water and walked along the path where the island ruins sank. As he went deeper, the light around him gradually dimmed, but he relied on his powerful divine sense to accurately find Jian's cave. Finally, he came to the location of Jian Cave under Jian Island. Although the cave was somewhat damaged at this time, and there were still traces of the remaining formation on the outside, Chen Tianqi breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that this place was not affected too much. After entering the cave, he began to search carefully, hoping to find something useful. When he came to a library, he found many books of exercises wrapped in light circles. Chen Tianqi's heart moved, and he cracked the prohibition of the library and put all the books of exercises into the storage bag. Then his divine consciousness took a closer look, and there were all kinds of various secret books of exercises. The most valuable one was the Zhuangyin Sutra, the main practice of Jian. The Zhuangyin Sutra was created by Zhuanggu, and the secrets contained in it were all powerful, including black evil Shiguang, evil demon Ju, blood refining divine light, evil pill technique, external incarnation, blood spirit diamond, shape changing Ju, Shiantu corpse fire, Shiantu corpse demon, yin demon slash, and soul separation technique. It can be said to be extremely rich. But the most precious technique of Zhuanggu is the Zhuanghan refining demon technique. This technique can break the restrictions of taking over the body, but it can only be practiced in the nascent soul stage. After leaving the library, he searched in other places and found a large number of spiritual stones, which should be used by Ji Yin for cultivation, as well as some spiritual herbs. The rest were ruins, and all the valuable things were washed away by the sea. After a while, Chen Tianqi rushed out of the sea, took out the photo beads and recorded the tragic situation of Ji Yin Island, ready to show it to Wang Ning. Then a lewd smile appeared on his face. This trip was very fruitful. Not only did he search for an astonishing number of spiritual stones, but he also got several top-level exercises. Now the Lingayan heart and soul art can continue to be upgraded. Then let the system integrate Manhusi's to ocean magic art and Ji Yin Zhuangyin Sutra into the Lingayan heart and soul art. It's time to update it. After the art was integrated, I carefully experienced the mystery of the updated Lingai and heart and soul art and found that its nether fire supernatural power was even more powerful, from only attacking the soul to the soul and the body. Moreover, the content of the art is more extensive, and there are several more methods for refining corpses, incarnations, and transformation of evil monsters. Chen Tianqi turned into golden light and flew away, returning to Xianxing City. In Xianxing City, Maoyan Gate. A month has passed since Chen Tianqi left Xianxing City and went to Jiayan Island to settle accounts with Jiayan Patriarch and others. During this month, Chen Tianqi and other women were no exception. They worried about Chen Tianqi's safety day and night. Especially Wang Ning, knowing that Chen Tianqi went to Jiayan Island to avenge her without even making any preparations, she was moved and blamed herself at the same time. If it weren't for her, Chen Tianqi wouldn't have disappeared for a month. Wang Ning stood on the top of the attic of the Maoyan Gate Merchant Alliance, looking worried, leaning on the railing and looking out, like a stone waiting for her husband. Every day she stood in the attic, looking into the distance, hoping that the figure would come back soon. Wang Ning was fascinated, thinking that today was just like the past, and there was no one she wanted to see. After a while, she turned around with disappointment and prepared to deal with the affairs. Even if her husband had no news, she had to run Maoyan Gate well for him and wait for him to return so that she could give him a surprise. As soon as Wang Ning turned around, she saw the figure she had been thinking about day and night, smiling at her in the room. Suddenly, Wang Ning's eyes were filled with tears, and she rushed over and murmured, "Husband, you are finally back. I'm so sorry for making my little lady wait so long." Chen Tianqi took Wang Ning in his arms with both hands, smiling and looking gentle. He then took out the photo beads and prepared to hand them to Wang Ning so that she could take a good look at them. 1. Chapter 52. 1. Name, Chen Tianqi. Sex, male. Age, 59/1160. Spiritual roots, gold, wood, water, fire, earth. Bloodline, Kryptonian, civilian. Template, physique, Kryptonian physique, pure yang physique. 5 elements. Physique. Skills, Kryptonian ability, 5 elements. Spell, equipment master, magic weapon level, puppet master, array master, spirit. Flame. Soul magic, hellfire magic, 5 elements. Magic, heaven and earth. Furnace, evil repelling. Divine thunder, hiding the sky. Art, great evolution. Art, black peony. Infant magic realm, peak of the early nascent soul stage. Number of draws, 1. Number of crossings, 2 items. Kryptonian technology encyclopedia, array collection, mysterious armor. Shield, magic weapon level, 72. Self-destruct flying swords, 72. Green bamboo bee cloud sword. Magic weapons, 18. Mecha puppets, peak formation, cave spirit treasure. Kyankan peak, N spirit stones, N pills, N talismans. Based on his past experience, it would be better to get something by holding a beautiful woman in the lottery. System, draw a lottery. As the countless numbers on the screen kept turning, Chen Tianqi saw many amazing things. What about Pangu Axe, Immortal Peach, Pangu Blood Essence, Zirksen Sword, 9 Revolutions. Mysterious Art, God-Killing Spear, Star Transformation, etc. I don't know if it's the system that fools people, giving people the illusion that they can draw. After all, the owners of these things are not small people. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining Dan Yangzi's alchemy manual. Dan Yangzi. Could this be that person? Chen Tianqi's curiosity was aroused when he heard the name, and he immediately went in to check. After a look, he found that it was just a cultivator with the same name. But the strange thing is that the first half of the alchemy manual is very normal, with all the methods of refining various elixirs in the world of immortal cultivation, which is very complete, and there are many elixirs that have never been heard of. But the second half is bloody and abnormal, extremely strange, and it is full of methods of using various things, monsters, and even people to make elixirs. For example, throwing people with special physiques into the alchemy furnace to refine the creation pill can take away human creation. The Haoyang pill refined by 999 boys. The Haoyang pill refined by 999 girls. The extreme yin pill made from it. And there is also the infant forming pill, made from tens of thousands of 100-day-old babies. The second half can be said to be against the harmony of nature, and it makes both humans and gods angry. When Chen Tianqi saw the last page, it was full of messy notes, as if it was polluted by something, with all kinds of crazy quotes. Done. Done. The Taoist priest, did it. Ho ha ho ho ha ho ha. Alchemy, 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 Use them all to make alchemy. Ho ha ho ho ha ho ha. Heavenly fire burns the 6 desires, and the elixir flame melts the 3 souls. The 7 souls return to the smoke to sacrifice to heaven and earth, leaving fate to cast one's own body. Ho ha ho ho ha ho ha. Chen Tianqi's scalp tingled. This person must have been polluted by something. Then he thought that this pollution would not be transmitted from the alchemy manual. Chen Tianqi hurriedly asked the system ding, please rest assured, everything you get from the lottery has been disinfected. There won't be any risk. Chen Tianqi was relieved after hearing the system's guarantee. He didn't want to become a madman. It was noon. Chen Tianqi finally got up from his comfortable state and put on his clothes. Chen Tianqi walked out of the room lightly, leaving Wang Ning sleeping on the bed. He took a deep breath, adjusted his mood, then quietly closed the door and walked out. He knew that Chen Tianqi and the other girls must be waiting for his news. After all, he had been away for some time this time, and he should come back in time to report his safety. Walking into the hall, Chen Tianqi found that Chen Tianqi and others were sitting together, seemingly discussing something important. When they saw Chen Tianqi appear, they immediately showed expressions of joy on their faces. Husband, you're back. Fan Jingmei was the first to rush forward, holding Chen Tianqi's hand and looking at him with seductive eyes. Then she looked at Zhou Ruding provocatively. Zhou Ruding saw that she had taken the lead, frowned, and went forward without showing any weakness, coming to the other side of Chen Tianqi. The two confronted each other. Yanli, who arrived later, saw the scene and stamped her feet, as she was taking the lead by these 2 girls. Others followed and watched this scene with smiles. Chen Tianqi felt a little surprised. Why was it not as surprising as he imagined? Chen Tianqi seemed to see what Chen Tianqi was thinking and rolled her eyes at him. Someone came back to do that with Zioning, and he made such a big noise, as if he was afraid that others would not know. Chen Tianqi smiled awkwardly. It turned out that he already knew he was back. His face turned slightly red, thinking that he had indeed lost his composure this time. But then he thought, instead of being embarrassed here, it would be better to change the subject. He cleared his throat, put on the attitude of the head of the family, and asked, I was away for a while, has anything important happened at home? Seeing this, Chen Tianqi knew that Chen Tianqi wanted to change the subject, so she followed suit. It's nothing serious, but Elder Jin from Xinguang has sent someone to invite my husband to visit again. Maybe he still wants you to join them. Chen Tianqi frowned slightly. Xinguang has a lot of spies. You know, he came back quietly. Although Xinguang showed great sincerity, he was not very interested in joining such an organization, not to mention that he himself had considerable strength and resources. He would have to explore other worlds later, so joining Xinguang would be even more impossible. He said with a little thought. Although Xinguang is good, I prefer to practice freely without being bound. Tianqian, please help me reject this matter. Zhou Ruding gently pulled the corner of Chen Tianqi's clothes and said softly, husband, although we can choose not to join the Xinguang, it is still necessary to maintain a good relationship with them. After all, in the world of cultivating immortals, having more friends makes the road easier. Chen Tianqi thought about it and felt that what Zhou Ruding said made sense. He really had to give him some face. He nodded and agreed with Zhou Ruding's opinion, then turned to the crowd and said, in this case, I will personally go to Brother Jin in a few days to make my position clear. 1. Chapter 53. When Chen Tianqi was still on his way back to Xiangxing City, on the Yuanxi Divine Mountain, Jin Kui took a secret order and handed it to the 2 saints of Xinguang for inspection. After reading it, Ling Xiafeng and Wen Qing couldn't come back to their senses for a long time. Let's not talk about killing Ji Yin. After all, as long as they want to kill an early nascent soul, they can do it. What shocked them was that they killed a middle-stage nascent soul physical cultivator, Manhuzi, and severely injured their mortal enemy Liu Daojishan. You must know that the gap between the nascent soul's small realm is comparable to the gap between the core formation and the nascent soul, and the higher the realm, the greater the gap. Not to mention that one of them is a physical cultivator and the current number 1 in the magic way. Ling Xiafeng sighed and said in a lonely tone, the young are really formidable. Who would have thought that in just a few hundred years, such a monster would be born in this world? Wen Qing agreed with her husband's opinion. For hundreds of years, Ling Xiafeng has always been the most prominent person on the Chaos Star Sea. Even the 6 Path Supreme Saints were suppressed by Ling Xiafeng. We still can't underestimate the people in this world. Junior brother, Please continue to win over fellow Taoist Chen. Even if you can't let him join the Star Palace, don't let him turn to the Chaos Star Alliance." Wen Qing thought for a moment and decided to let Jin Kui continue to win over Chen Tianqi. Ling Xiafang also echoed, "Madam is right. I'll leave this matter to you. As for the upcoming opening of the Zushan Palace, Junior brother, go and find out if he is willing to form an alliance with the Xinggong and go there together." A few days later, Chen Tianqi came to Jin Kui's cave on the 80th floor of the Holy Mountain. In fact, the main reason why Xinggong invited him 3 times was that he was worried that Chen Tianqi would join the arms of the Chaos Star Alliance, but it would be better if he could join them. This time Chen Tianqi came to make his position clear. He would not join anyone and be a staunch neutral party. After Chen Tianqi sent a message to Jin Kui outside the cave, he waited for a moment. Then he saw Jin Kui walking out of the cave with steady steps and greeted Chen Tianqi with a smile. "Brother Chen, you are finally here," Jin Kui's voice came, full of enthusiasm. Chen Tianqi smiled slightly and bowed, responding to his enthusiasm. "Fellow Taoist Jin, how are you? I wonder why fellow Taoist Jin invited me here this time." Chen Tianqi pretended not to know and asked in confusion. Jin Kui looked at this little fox. He didn't think Chen Tianqi really didn't know why he invited him here. Seeing him like this, he didn't have much hope for this recruitment, but he still had to give it a try. "Brother Chen, it's nothing serious. I wanted to give you some infant cultivation pills to stabilize your cultivation. As a result, you left in such a hurry that day that I didn't have time to give it to you." Then Jin Kui changed the subject. His expression was a little odd. "I didn't expect that you, Brother Chen, really went over and destroyed the old ghost's giant island. Brother Chen is so loyal and righteous. I admire you. Fellow Taoist Jin, you are too kind. I am just a little better." Chen Tianqi waved his hand and said modestly. After hearing this, Jin Kui's mouth twitched. "A little better? Why did I hear from my spies that he was killed in seconds by a powerful magical power?" But he did not pay attention to Chen Tianqi's modest words, but put on an expression of concern for the country and the people. "Alice. Brother Chen, you don't know. Now in the Chaos Star Sea, there is the Chaos Star Alliance stirring up trouble, and outside there are the demon tribes eyeing them covetously. The two are colluding with each other, and the people are living in misery. It can be said that there are internal and external troubles. In order to maintain the hard-won peace in Chaos Star Sea, Xinggong tried his best and used all means. Now we are gradually short of manpower. I wonder if Brother Chen is willing to lend a hand." Xinggong is willing to promise Brother Chen that he will be second to none in Xinggong and above 10,000 people, and even give him 10,000 gold coins. Chen Tianqi looked at Jin Kui's ears and twitched his mouth. "What he said was not in line with your personality. You are a Yuanying cultivator. Those who can reach this point are all shrewd and calculating old hidden ones. Of course, hanging on the wall is an exception. If it were the mortal world, he might have some admiration, but this is the world of immortal cultivation. Xinggong is just for its own ruling status. They don't care whether the mortals and scattered cultivators below are peaceful or not. But in order to cooperate with his performance, be more tactful." Chen Tianqi then pretended to sigh, beat his chest and stamped his feet, and spoke faintly. "Fellow Taoist Jin, when I heard that chaos is about to break out in Chaos Star Sea and the people are suffering, I wish I could catch these traitors in one fell swoop, but I am not strong enough. In the battle on Giant Island, the hateful giant old ghost took advantage of my unpreparedness and blew up his nascent soul. Fortunately, I had magical powers to protect him and save my life, but he was also seriously injured. I'm afraid he can't take on the responsibility entrusted by Xinggong." Jin Kui looked at Chen Tianqi's acting, his eyes twitched, and he heard the refusal. "But you should make it more realistic. I see you are full of energy. How can you be a cultivator who has been hit by a Yuanying self-destruction?" But he couldn't turn against Chen Tianqi, so he had to follow his words. "Alice, since Brother Chen is injured, Xinggong doesn't need to force it." Then Jin Kui took out a few bottles of infant cultivating pills and some elixirs for strengthening the body and essence and handed them to Chen Tianqi. "Brother Chen, these are the pills for nourishing the baby and strengthening the body. I hope you can heal your wounds and stabilize your cultivation." Chen Tianqi accepted the pills. "It would be a waste if you didn't take the free stuff." When Jin Kui saw Chen Tianqi accept the things, he showed a mysterious smile on his face and said in a slightly bluffing tone, "Brother Chen, do you know what time will be more than 70 years later?" Chen Tianqi was stunned. More than 70 years later? Then he immediately thought of the time when the Zushan Palace was opened. Could it be the time when the Zushan Palace will be opened? Chen Tianqi was not sure. After all, the original book did not say the exact time. Jin Kui smiled slightly, showing an expression of as expected. It seems that Brother Chen is also planning to attack Zushan Palace. Then he closed the doors and windows of the cave, activated the formation restriction, and changed the subject with a serious expression. I wonder how much do you know about Zushan Palace, Brother Chen? Chen Tianqi saw Jin Kui's actions and understood that he wanted to invite him to join a team. He only knew that Zushan Palace was a treasure house left by the ancient great man Bingpo, and the most valuable thing in it was Zushanding. Please tell me more about it, fellow Taoist Jin. Jin Kui took a sip of tea and slowly told the story of Zushan Palace. This Zushan Palace was left behind by an ancient great power. Because it was sealed by a powerful barrier, it was open once every 300 years. There were still more than 70 years before the nearest opening. Chapter 54. The Zushan Palace is divided into the Outer Palace and the Inner Palace. The Outer Palace has 3 major trial levels. The first level is the Ghost Abyss, where there are countless ghosts that devour people's minds. The second level is the Ice and Fire Land. There is also a small space opened up by the 17 great monks of the wilderness. There are countless treasures in it. After passing it, you can go to the treasure pavilion to choose a treasure. The third level is the G Temple Illusion, which will make the monks with weak minds immersed in fantasy. After passing the 3 levels, you can enter the Inner Palace. On the high platform in the center of the Inner Palace, there is a protective shield, which contains the famous Zushanding. There are countless treasures in the tripod, but in the deep of the big hole where the Zushanding is stored, there is a group of dry blue ice flames, which are extremely cold and cold. Even if the Yuanying stage is touched, it will die, but it can't burn the spider silk of the blood jade spider. Jin Kui wasted a lot of words and let Chen Tianqi understand that there are countless treasures in the Zushan Palace, and it also hides murderous intentions. But Chen Tianqi is not very interested in the Zushanding, but he is interested in the dry blue ice flame. I don't know if I can swallow this flame, or find Zhuanggu and learn his unique Zhuanghan demon refining method. Combine the evil repelling divine thunder, Zhuanghan yin fire, and the Skyanlan ice flame to form the Shura holy fire. This Shura holy fire can be said to be the first holy fire in the human world. At this time, Jin Kui drank a cup of tea, moistened his throat, and looked expectant. He invited Chen Tianqi. Brother Chen, I have said so much, I believe you have already known something about the Zushan Palace. I will not waste any more words. I dare to ask if you are willing to go with me to the Zushan Palace. Chen Tianqi touched his chin and thought for a moment. It is not impossible to form a team. Then I'll have to trouble you, Brother Jin. I wonder how the harvest will be distributed. Seeing Chen Tianqi agree, Jin Kui was delighted. With a powerful person joining, he could get more good things. Ha, Brother Chen, don't worry. If one of us comes first, it will be his. If we see it together, it will depend on how much effort each person puts in. If it is a technique or something like that, each person will engrave a copy. If there is a dispute, we will sell it after we go out and divide it into spirit stones, and I'm here. Don't worry, Brother Chen. Chen Tianqi smiled and saluted. I am not good at killing, so I will rely on fellow Taoist Jin when the time comes. Jin Kui's mouth twitched slightly, and he wanted to curse. You are not good at killing. Then what is he? Chen Tianqi returned to his own cave from Jin Kui. Since he had agreed to Jin Kui's invitation to form a team, he had to make sure everything was in place. First, Chen Tianqi came to the lair of the blood jade spider, which was Luo Ding's right-hand man. There couldn't be any mistakes. After entering the lair, he found that the whole place was full of spider webs, and there were several corpses of monsters hanging on them. It should be that Chen Tianqi and the others came to feed them regularly. Suddenly, in a dead corner and shadow, a white jade spider that was 2 or 3 times larger than a cow attacked Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi didn't even turn his head, and the void condensed into a palm, giving it a big slap. The blood jade spider was slapped away directly, and the other blood jade spider saw this and didn't hide anymore, and immediately ran out and came to Chen Tianqi obediently. Chen Tianqi patted the little spider in front of him, and seeing that the blood jade spider was so sensible, he laughed and scolded, little brats, isn't it just that I haven't come to feed you for a few years? So you don't recognize me? But you have good eyesight, Then he casually threw out a piece of sea beast meat that he had killed on the way back to Xiangxing City. The blood jade spider saw that there was meat to eat, so it stopped pretending to be stupid and started to eat with relish. The other one that was pretending to be dead also stood up and started to snatch the food from it. Seeing that they were eating, Chen Tianqi didn't make a sound to disturb them, but came to the gold-eating worm nest nearby. At this time, the gold-eating worm nest was full of worm shells. Moreover, tens of thousands of gold-eating worms had been isolated into two waves by the formation, one for Chen Tianqi and the other for Chen Tianqi. But the formation's isolation shield had been knocked through by them. Chen Tianqi directly put his wave of gold-eating bugs into the spirit beast bag. They have grown up almost, and although they have not reached adulthood, it is time for them to appear. Take them out, and give them a snack when you fight with others in the future. Then he redeployed the protective formation, threw in a few magic tools, and fed another wave of gold-eating bugs. After placing the spirit pets, Chen Tianqi came to the alchemy room. He wanted to refine the materials in his hands into pills for emergency use. He also used the voice transmission token to let Chen Tianqi and others purchase a batch of monster materials, talismans, and refining materials for him. 2 months later, Chen Tianqi looked at the pills piled up in front of him. The quality was not low. He was very satisfied with his talent for alchemy. In just 2 months, he had comprehended Dan Yangzi's alchemy manual. If you ignore the second half, Dan Yangzi is indeed a genius alchemist. His innovative alchemy techniques are unheard of in Xianan or Chaos Star Sea. The quality of the pills produced is a few points better than that of ordinary pills. Of course, Chen Tianqi also learned the second half, so that he can use it in the world of cannibalism. Chen Tianqi exhaled a breath of turbid air, got up and walked out of the alchemy room. The next step is to refine some magic tools. Chen Tianqi brought the materials collected by Chen Tianqi and others to the refining room and started the pot and fired the furnace. 1 month later, Chen Tianqi refined the same magic weapon as the evil ghost Taoist who was killed in Xianan, the 10,000 ghost banner, and added alchemy to the 18 mecha puppets to make their bodies harder, as well as several defensive bracelets and magic tools, some offensive magic tools, ready to be given to Wang Ning and other girls. Chen Tianqi has made so many preparations in the past few months because he wants to use these 70 years to explore the new world. In order to improve his combat effectiveness and prepare for the trip to Zushan Palace, Chen Tianqi did not tell Chen Tianqi and the others about traveling to other worlds. Because traveling is random, Chen Tianqi himself does not know whether it is dangerous. For their safety and not wanting to make them worry, he plans to use long-term seclusion as an excuse. After Chen Tianqi made all the preparations, he called Chen Tianqi and the other girls. He gave them the refined bracelets and magic tools, and told them that he was about to go into seclusion, and asked them to take care of themselves and look after the spirit pets in the cave. 1. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 55. 1. Chen Tianqi took a deep breath and turned on the system's time travel function. He had already asked for information. After the time travel, he could return to the present world because he had already dropped an anchor point and could come back at any time. The only thing was that the system did not know the time elapsed between the two worlds, as well as the information of the new world. But it didn't matter. If he encountered irresistible danger, he would retreat immediately. Suddenly, a colorful twisted vortex appeared in front of Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi quickly put on more than 10 layers of shields, summoned a mystic armor shield, and walked in. A feeling of dizziness swept through his mind. It was like the sleeper bus he had taken in his previous life. The smell of stinky leather and air conditioning mixed together in the bus, making people feel sick and want to vomit. Fortunately, this feeling did not last long. The sound of vehicle horns, the noise of the crowd, the sound of traffic lights, and all kinds of sounds entered Chen Tianqi's ears. Chen Tianqi opened his eyes and saw all kinds of blonde and blue-eyed ghosts coming and going, staring at him with curious eyes. A patrol car, the police car, noticed something was wrong, and a 1.78 meters tall foreigner got out. He put his hands to his right and walked towards Chen Tianqi with a vigilant look. The American police looked at the yellow man in front of him, who was wearing strange clothes, taller and stronger than him, and handsome. He felt a little jealous and disdainful, and said in a condescending manner, "Who are you? What are you doing here? Get your driver's license out." "Who are you? What are you doing here? Take out your driver's license." Chen Tianqi looked at the American police officer who looked up at him, speaking bird language that he couldn't understand, and frowned. How did this broken system transmit him to the crowd? It was really unreliable. Then he felt the spiritual energy of this world, but was surprised to find that this world was a place without spirits. Fortunately, there is the sun here, and Chen Tianqi majored in the furnace of heaven and earth, which can refine all things. Then he started to practice the skills, and the yuan-yin in his body opened his mouth, and the unknown energy of this universe was constantly absorbed into his body. It seems that with the help of the skills, the unknown energy of the universe can also be transformed in the body. Transformed into spiritual energy for use. At the same time, because he has been in the world of immortal cultivation for a long time, his body has undergone some changes. Sunbathing can also restore the mana in the body, and there is no need to replenish spiritual energy. The American policeman on the side saw that Chen Tianqi was slow to speak, and felt ashamed and angry in his heart. A yellow-skinned monkey dares to ignore me. He immediately wanted to grab Chen Tianqi's arm and wanted to capture him. Chen Tianqi looked at the dirty hand of the foreigner and disappeared on the spot in an instant. The American policeman was stunned and wondered if he had seen a ghost. In just a moment, his body swelled and exploded, turning into a bloody mist. Seeing such a tragic scene, the crowd screamed and fled, and a few brave ones even took pictures with their mobile phones. 6 months later, Chen Tianqi also figured out that this is the super god universe. Then the system easily cracked the information of the dark plane of the universe and calculated that the ratio of its time to the world of cultivation is 1:10. This can ensure that he can rush back before the opening of the Zushan Palace. The unknown energy absorbed at the beginning is probably stellar energy and dark energy. When I first heard about the Beautiful Women's Federation, I thought I had come to marvel, which made Chen Tianqi cautious, fearing that he would be spotted by the observer. As a result, after a few months, I found a chance to take a few glances, only to find that they were a group of fakes, the kind that I could kill with one finger. Then I thought that there seemed to be a group of fake women's federations in the super god world. Then I went to China and found Juxia City and Xi'an City, and then I confirmed that this is the super god universe. In addition, in the past few months, I found that the space barrier of the super god universe is pitifully fragile. Like a bus, people can come in and out at will. Originally, in the world of cultivation, only the god transforming stage could barely tear the space, and if there was no protection when crossing the space, it might be crushed by the space. But here, Chen Tianqi, who is in the nascent soul stage, can tear the space with a wave of his hand and travel through space safely. He also learned that the time is now 2012, and the wormhole in the sky has not been opened yet, which means that Chen Tianqi has spare time to do some tricks. Chen Tianqi only knows a little about the Super God universe. He has only seen the Super God Academy before it was revised, and there are not many things here that can improve with strength. But he has a lot of ideas about what they call the God body. He thought of the Lingayan Heart Soul Defa that has been integrated with the Zhuanyin Sutra, which contains the method of refining corpses. The God body best meets the requirements of refining corpses. Maybe he can add a few generals. Chen Tianqi has changed into modern clothes and boarded a plane to Europe. He's going to find Hizai's old lover Sumali to verify his idea. Romantic country, Paris. Chen Tianqi came to a manor and waited for Sumali. It is not difficult to find Sumali, relying on his old scumbag temperament. Even if he is exiled, he must enjoy everything. With Sumali's extraordinary body, Chen Tianqi naturally locked in quickly. Not long after, a roaring red sports car whizzed from a distance and stopped at the door of the manor. A blonde and charming young man got out of the car holding a young girl. His hands kept rubbing oil. Chen Tianqi looked closely and found that this sissy hair should be Sumali. Looking at his bird, I don't know why Hizai is fascinated by him. Is it his face? Or do the little girls among the angels like sissy guys? Chen Tianqi used the hidden breath and concealed the sky, quietly followed him not far away, and followed him into the manor. As soon as Sumali entered the manor, she had a French fight with a young lady. It was about to start. A tall shadow covered Sumali and the young lady from behind. Sumali was so scared that she shrank back. He threw the young lady under him and quickly dodged to the side. The young lady screamed, and Chen Tianqi caught her, threw her to the side, glanced down, and looked at Su Mali with a smile. Little Susie is in a very elegant mood. Su Mali ignored Chen Tianqi's words. But her expression quickly calmed down and she said in a cold voice, "Who are you? Who sent you here?" Chen Tianqi touched his chin and asked mysteriously. "Me. How about you guess?" Su Mali's eyes were fierce, and a silver light appeared, stabbing from behind Chen Tianqi. However, the flying knife was blocked by the golden light of protection, and with a big hand, the flying knife flew to Chen Tianqi's hand involuntarily, and then left a mark on his soul and refined it on the spot. Chen Tianqi looked at the exquisite flying knife in his hand. This must be Su Mali's dark silver flying knife. Looking at the dark silver flying knife that was sharp and could cut iron like mud, Chen Tianqi had one more target to plunder. This extremely sharp metal is quite scarce in the world of immortal cultivation, and it is considered a top-grade scarce material. Chapter 56. Su Mali saw that her dark silver flying knife had been taken away, so she quickly activated her genetic system to try to get it back. But she couldn't summon the flying knife no matter how hard she tried, and she felt a little panic in her heart. She knew that the person in front of her was an existence that she could not defeat, but she still threatened, "Boy, give me back my things. I am the legendary angel." "I know, of course I know you are an angel. If you are not an angel, I would not look down on you," Chen Tianqi said jokingly. Su Mali was stunned, and a gleam of light flashed in her eyes. Could it be that this person was sent by her to beat her? She adjusted her expression for a moment and showed a gentleman's smile. "You were sent by Hizai, right? I knew she couldn't bear to part with me." Chen Tianqi felt a chill in his heart as he looked at Su Mali, who had entered his mind. Did he think he was sent by Hizai? But Hizai was also disgusting in Chen Tianqi's opinion. He knew that his first love was a Dazing, but he was still reluctant to kill him and threw him to the earth to harm people here. Personal opinion, please don't criticize if you are a Hizai fan. Chen Tianqi was too lazy to explain to Su Mali at this time. A ball of black gas appeared in his hand, and he waved it lightly. With the force of lightning, it hit Su Mali's body. Suddenly, Su Mali let out a deafening scream, and he felt that his soul was about to be torn apart. Then Chen Tianqi sacrificed the netherworld flame. The netherworld magical power that was integrated with the Xiandu corpse fire magical power already had the effect of refining corpses. A small ball of netherworld flame attached to Su Mali and soon turned into raging fire, burning all the clothes on her body, but did not hurt her at all. "Hey, it's your honor to be my first corpse." Chen Tianqi quickly shot out a few soul-devouring nails, laughed strangely, and began his corpse refining ritual. One night passed. At this time, Chen Tianqi's corpse leader Su Mali had begun to show divine power, and her face no longer had the charming look before. Instead, she had a green face with fangs, murderous eyes, and a ferocious look. Her body also swelled more than twice as tall, and her hands were covered with sharp claws, while the kun underneath disappeared, and it was smooth and flat. After all, the corpse leader does not need kun. The young girl next to her woke up when Chen Tianqi was refining the corpse leader. But she was frightened by the horrifying scene and trembled, and peed all over the floor. Chen Tianqi glanced at her and ignored her. He put the corpse leader Su Mali into the prepared spirit beast bag, then tore the space and returned to the villa in Xi'an City. Now he has not yet been refined. Only his consciousness and soul have been erased, and his body has been refined and transformed. He has to go back and refine the corpse and transform it properly. 3 months later, Chen Tianqi looked at the tall and mighty, ferocious, fierce, with wings covering the sky on his back, facing the corpse leader Su Mali, who could no longer see a trace of human. Now there is only one step left. Injecting huge resentment into the body can stimulate the ferocity and increase the power. But this resentment is not easy to find, and it is still a peaceful era, and the quality of resentment does not meet Chen Tianqi's requirements. Suddenly Chen Tianqi had a flash of inspiration. If there is no resentment, create resentment. It is better to act than to be moved. Chen Tianqi tore the space and came to the sky above the Sakura country, looking down at the territory that looked like a small insect. Then he offered several formation flags and many spirit stones and went to all directions of the Sakura country. Chen Tianqi is going to deploy a large-scale ghost evil spirit formation. This formation can turn a place into a place full of yin energy, resentment, and ghost fog. And it only requires the people of the Sakura country to make a little contribution, such as generating a lot of negative emotions, resentment, or a large number of deaths in a short period of time. Anyway, they are little devils, and they can be regarded as returning to their ancestral land. After a while, the formation flag returned to its position. Chen Tianqi took out the formation plate, pinched the magic formula with his hands, and slightly rotated the formation plate. Suddenly, a circular light curtain that was invisible to the naked eye rose up and slowly enveloped the Sakura country. Yanhuang, Juxia. A mature woman with an attractive figure and beautiful face, Lianfeng. Watching the Deno system reminding the direction of Sakura country that a large amount of energy fluctuations are rising. Feeling something is wrong, I quickly reported to General Du. At this time, Chen Tianqi's formation had been activated, and a strange smile appeared on his face. It's time to pay for your sins. He took a deep breath, his eyes were stern, the magic formula in his hand changed, and a brown light flashed from his body. After 2 or 3 breaths of time, the entire territory of the Sakura country boiled like boiling water, the ground bounced and the mountains shook, and the land across the country turned over. For a while, a major earthquake swept the country. This is Chen Tianqi's earth-moving magic. This is also the first time he has used his earth-moving magic with all his strength. He didn't expect it to be so powerful. It only took a few dozen seconds. The entire Sakura country turned into ruin, as if it had been turned over by an earth dragon. For a while, there were countless casualties, screams, cries, curses, and prayers. These sounds were constantly amplified by the formation, forming waves of echoes resounding in the Sakura country. Then a huge amount of negative emotions and resentment gushed out, and the wind was gusting. The formation used the environment created by Chen Tianqi to continuously collect resentment and transform the territory of the Sakura country. Du Kao received the emergency call from Lianfeng and rushed to the intelligence room. He walked in with steady steps, and said, Lianfeng, did something happen to our planners? Lianfeng hurriedly brought up a light screen and spoke to Du Kao. Our planners are all doing fine, except that they discovered a huge energy fluctuation in Sakura country, and a light shield appeared that covered the entire country. Du Kao frowned, thought for a moment, and asked, can you find out where this energy comes from? This is exactly what I am wondering about. This energy is completely different from the dark energy and stellar energy we are familiar with. I can guarantee that it has never appeared in the known universe. Lianfeng finished speaking quickly, looking at the light curtain with a fanatical look, eager to collect it and study it immediately. Unknown things are the biggest surprise for scientific researchers. Du Kao was even more confused. Could the unknown energy be what the principal said? He took a deep breath, rubbed his brows, and said, Lianfeng, try your best to find the source of this energy. If you find any danger, stop the exploration immediately. Our planners have not started yet and can't stand the hassle. At this time, a large wave of resentment had gathered in the sky above the Sakura country, and at the same time, the array plate was flashing. Chen Tianqi frowned. Coming to the land of absolute spirits was troublesome. To set up a large array, you need to replenish spiritual stones all the time. Then he took out a large number of spiritual stones and poured them into the ghost demon resentful spirit array. The large array that was replenished with spiritual energy was filled with gloomy winds. The people who died in the Sakura country due to the earthquake were constantly being invaded by yin energy. The intact bodies of the corpses became extremely stiff, grew black hair, green faces and fangs, and turned into zombies. The incomplete corpses were constantly repaired, forming a deformed and hideous yin corpse. And with the whistling of the yin wind throughout the little day country, countless little cherry blossoms were distorted and turned into ghosts without consciousness. Countless zombies, yin corpses, and ghosts ferociously roared and attacked the surviving little day, like a doomsday. Under this doomsday, human nature continued to show its ugly side, and the resentment in the sky gathered more and more. Chen Tianqi looked at the countless ghosts below. There were so many of them that it would not be good to waste them. Then he took out the 10,000 ghosts banner and sucked countless ghosts into it for sacrifice. What a waste. Let me use your last remaining energy. Those who don't match the strength of the super god in your mind, just treat it as my second setting. After all, it's a fan work. Chapter 57. For 3 days in a row, the Sakura country suffered such a disaster, and the outside countries were in turmoil. They sent people to the Sakura country to find out what happened. Unfortunately, after those people went in, they found that they could not get out, and they could not send any information. In the Sakura country that seemed like the end of the world, they were desperately slaughtered by countless ghosts. Chen Tianqi saw it clearly from high in the sky. During this period, many groups of people came to the entire Sakura country, and they were all annihilated. And his position was also swept by several things. It must be the angel chase, technology monkey and inner civilization left behind in the blue star. But Chen Tianqi's key collecting technique is not covered, and his body is hidden in the space, and there is a system cover. They can only find the source of energy, but not Chen Tianqi. Under Chen Tianqi's continuous replenishment of spirit stones, the blood sacrifice of the formation began, and the Sakura country was completely transformed into a place of resentful spirits. A huge amount of resentment also gathered in the sky, and the black and red resentment enveloped the entire Sakura country, which looked gloomy and terrifying. Chen Tianqi looked at such a huge amount of resentment and smiled so hard that his flower was about to bloom. He would not dare to do this in the world of immortal cultivation. Harming the harmony of heaven was part of the reason, but the main reason was that heaven did not allow cultivators to perform blood sacrifices on mortals. If mortals were used for blood sacrifices, the future path of cultivation would be full of difficulties, and heavenly tribulations would be frequent. Fortunately, this is the super god universe. Although it is a place of no spirits, there is no heavenly way and no heavenly tribulations. Not to mention that the cherry blossoms were used for blood sacrifices. Chen Tianqi himself had no burden at all. Afterwards, Chen Tianqi collected all the resentment over the Sakura country into a special box and took back the formation flag. Then he tore through the space and returned to the villa in Xi'an City. A moment later, a figure flew over from a distance. An angel with long golden hair and white wings on his back came to Chen Tianqi. Looking at the horrible and corpse-strewn Sakura country, his tone was somewhat angry. The space fluctuation just now should be here, right? How could this evil god escape? Then he rolled his eyes and began to record and investigate, but he only found unknown energy and various tragic situations of the little country below. He frowned and began to report to Queen Kesha. Giant Gorge. Lianfeng had not closed his eyes for several nights, and had been tracing the source of unknown energy until Chen Tianqi left just now. He sighed and said to Ducao General, "I'm sorry, I've tried my best. I'm afraid the other side's technology is much more advanced than ours. I can only detect the energy source above the Little Day country, but I can't find the hidden person. Thank you for your hard work, Lianfeng. It's not your fault. Go and have a rest. We don't know if he is a friend or foe, but if he treats a country in such a cruel way, he must be an enemy." Ducao patted Lianfeng on the shoulder and comforted him. Then he turned around, his face a little gloomy, and muttered to himself, "It's really not the right time. This generation of galaxy force is not the most perfect match. But I can't care less." The Styx Nebula. Gravedigger Snow, holding a shovel, came to a library, knelt on one knee, and respectfully said to the pale-faced scholar holding a book in front of him, "Oh my God. The Earth has discovered an unknown energy source. Will this affect our plan?" Carl looked away from the book and said to him calmly, "Open the big wormhole and order the Teoti King to attack the Earth in advance." The gravedigger agreed and retreated respectfully. After the gravedigger Snow left, Carl looked at the huge portrait of Liang Bing in front of him and murmured, "Unknown energy. Is that you?" Void. Xi'an City. A villa in the suburbs. Chen Tianqi took out some of the resentment and poured it into the corpse leader Sumali. For a moment, the black and red resentment entangled Sumali's body, emitting bursts of cold air, covering the entire villa with a layer of frost. The corpse leader Sumali suddenly opened his scarlet eyes, spread his black wings behind him, roared to the sky, and burst out bone spurs from his body. A strong aura swept out of the villa. Chen Tianqi immediately raised his hand to cover the villa to prevent the corpse leader's surging aura from leaking out and causing someone to come to the door. After pretending to be powerful, the corpse leader Sumali immediately knelt on one knee to salute Chen Tianqi. Instinct told it that the person in front of it was its master, the master who dominated everything about it. Chen Tianqi looked at the corpse leader, whose body was strong and had been irrigated with huge resentment, and whose realm had reached the false infant realm. He was very satisfied in his heart. Sure enough, using these super soldiers to refine corpses would not disappoint him. Before, he was just a second-generation super soldier, or a second-generation divine body? The strength of the corpses refined is so high. What kind of masterpieces will be born if the corpse is refined by the third-generation divine bodies and the fourth-generation divine bodies are used? Just as Chen Tianqi was lost in thought, a thunderous sound rang out in the sky. Chen Tianqi looked in the direction of the sound and saw an extremely huge black wormhole hanging in the air, like a black chrysanthemum. Ahead of schedule. Chen Tianqi looked at the chrysanthemum in the sky and couldn't help but wonder. It seems that he had caused a big fuss recently, which made them start the plan ahead of schedule. A gleam of light flashed in Chen Tianqi's eyes. Time was running out, and he had to quickly lay out some backup plans. 3 months later. A young man wearing a short-sleeved shirt and shorts, exuding a DOC atmosphere, walked out of Juksha University with dark circles under his eyes. This is the legendary most DOC god, Jezailan. At this time, Jezailan was still an ordinary college student who liked watching movies and hand exercises. But since Jezailan tried to challenge the limit of hand exercises in the dormitory 3 months ago and fainted, he felt that his mental state was getting more and more wrong. In the dream, there was always a hazy beauty who was madly squeezing himself, and she was playing in various ways. At first it was quite cool, but in the end I had such a dream every day, and even an iron kidney couldn't stand it. Until now, hallucinations appear in my eyes from time to time, making him more and more depressed. The Super God Academy monitored Jezailan the most, and found that his mental state was not right, and then explored it, but found nothing abnormal. So they sent people to investigate the situation around him, and saw Jezailan masturbating every day, challenging the limits of human beings, and then they knew the reason. It would be strange if it wasn't false. Later, I didn't care too much, and his body returned to normal when his genes were turned on. What the Super God Academy and Jezailan didn't know was that Jezailan's body had been tampered with by someone, and that person was Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi used the numerous ghosts in the 10,000 Ghosts banner to specially refine a powerful sex ghost and parasitize on Jezailan. After 3 months of parasitism, the spirit had weakened to the extreme, and had already merged with part of his soul. When the time was right, Chen Tianqi would order the sex ghost to seize Jezailan's body. The reason was very simple. His current level as a corpse refining material was too low. At the same time, Chen Tianqi parasitized different ghosts according to the different people in the protagonist group. Liu Chuang was parasitized by an angry ghost. After all, he was a gangster, and it was normal for his personality to be easily angry. Zhao Zhen was parasitized by a bad ghost. His luck had been bad since he was a child, which was in line with his character. Only Jia Yaowen, Kaiang Wei, Qilin, and Rui Wenwen did not take action. Because when Chen Tianqi found Jia Yaowen, he found that someone was protecting him in secret. Sure enough, it would be strange if a civilized prince had no one to protect him. In order not to alert the enemy, he did not do anything. Kaiang Wei had not found her, and Qilin's genes were too rubbish to arouse her interest. Ru Wenwen felt that she was a bit pitiful, and it was probably Chen Tianqi's last bit of conscience that made her do something wrong, so she did not do anything to her. Chapter 58. In a remote alley, a few hooligans surrounded a woman, and the leader was Liu Chuang. At this time, he had a lewd smile on his face, looking at the curvy woman in front of him, teasing her. "Beauty, do you want to go play with your brother?" "No, no, yes," the woman trembled and said in a trembling voice. Liu Chuang looked at the frightened woman and became even more excited. Just as he was about to take advantage of her, he heard a voice in his ear. "Stop. Let go of that girl." Suddenly, Liu Chuang's heart was filled with nameless anger, as if it was about to explode in his heart. His eyes were red, and he turned around and cursed, "I'm talking to you, what little brat is ruining my business?" He looked closely and saw a young man who was about the same height as him, but with a pale face and dark circles under his eyes, standing in front of him. "You loser with kidney deficiency. I think you are looking for death." Liu Chuang's anger burned even more. A loser who came from nowhere dared to come out to stop me. Did he look down on my reputation in this area? He immediately kicked Jezailan to the ground, picked up a brick on the ground and smashed it hard on his face, then sat on him and swung the brick wildly. Jezailan struggled hurriedly, but he was too weak from too much exercise. He was suppressed by Liu Chuang and could only stretch out his hands to resist. Liu Chuang smashed for a while, and his anger gradually subsided. Seeing that the loser under him had stopped moving, he jumped up in fright. "Damn, I'm not going to kill this loser." Several younger brothers nearby saw their boss kill someone and ran away. Only the trembling Liu Chuang was left, constantly regretting why he got angry so easily. He broke someone's leg a few months ago, and now he killed someone again. Liu Chuang struggled for a moment, and just when he was about to take a step to run away, he saw the corpse under his feet move. For a moment, Liu Chuang was so happy that he wanted to jump up. It's good that he's not dead. It's good that he's not dead. He immediately bent down and wanted to help Jezailan up, saying, "I'm so sorry, brother. I've been so upset lately." Before Liu Chuang could finish his words, Jezailan grabbed his head and smashed it to the ground, then pulled up Liu Chuang's feet and smashed him against the wall. The wall cracked directly, and Liu Chuang vomited blood. He was embedded in it and made no sound. Jezailan was just crushed to death, and because of Lena's arrival, various genetic projects were activated, energy was transmitted, the power of the galaxy was activated, and he came to his own dark plane. After he was resurrected, he saw the murderer who crushed him to death. Anger rushed to his head, and he beat Liu Chuang to vent his fear of death. Jezailan was shocked when he saw the wall cracked and Liu Chuang was crushed to death. When did he become so awesome? But he quickly took out his mobile phone in panic and wanted to call an ambulance. Then he heard a noise coming from Liu Chuang's side. "Bah, what, no Star Wars god? I don't care. I'm going to beat this loser to death today." Then Jezailan saw veins popping up, his eyes were red, and his face was ferocious, as if he had activated the 5th level of blood rage. He directly took down the air conditioner on the wall next to him, rushed towards Jezailan, and swung it at him fiercely. Seeing Liu Chuang suddenly become like Superman, Jezailan panicked and was knocked away by the air conditioner. But he soon found that he was fine, and the fear in his heart disappeared. Seeing that Liu Chuang continued to rush over, he gradually got excited and wrestled with him. After a while, bursts of sirens came from a distance. Soon a police car drove to the scene and several policemen got off. A graceful female police officer Kilin took the lead and warned, "Don't move. Hold your heads down." The voice became smaller and smaller, feeling surprised, because the alley was in a mess at this time, as if it had been bombed by a bomb. The two people in the middle were still wrestling, punching each other, and the wall seemed to be made of paper and was easily penetrated. Seeing that Jezailan and Liu Chuang were getting more and more excited, their faces were covered with blood. Kilin made a prompt decision and fired a shot into the air. Jezailan was directly frightened, and his blood instantly faded. He had not yet changed his mind from an ordinary person, and immediately raised his hands to surrender. But Liu Chuang was relentless and punched Jezailan with such force that he flew away and his teeth fell out. Kilin fired a shot directly at Liu Chuang, and the bullet passed through his ear, causing Liu Chuang to calm down instantly. With his hands raised high, he said flatteringly, Sister, don't shoot, I surrender, hold your head and squat down," Kilin said coldly, but she was a little scared in her heart. Today, these two people overturned her cognition of the world. There was a big chrysanthemum in the sky in front, and Superman was fighting behind. Is there really superpowers in this world? Then Jezailan and Liu Chuang squatted down obediently with their heads held. Jezailan's eyes would stare at Killin's jade legs from time to time, which made Kilin disgusted. Then they were all handcuffed and taken into the police car by the police, but when Liu Chuang glanced at Jezailan, there was still anger in his eyes. Chen Tianqi stood in a high building and saw everything that happened to the two. Now the specially made pervert and angry ghost have become more deeply rooted with the activation of the super genes of the two. Especially Liu Chuang, who is irritable and vindictive, has completely affected his personality. The fusion of his soul with the angry ghost is even higher than the fusion of Jezailan and the pervert. Grow up quickly. My little leak. Chen Tianqi looked at the two people as if he was looking at two pieces of material, muttering to himself. After watching the show for the whole morning, Chen Tianqi returned to his small villa. Lying on the sofa, waiting for the arrival of a little fox. In the past few months, Chen Tianqi has been using his mobile phone to give money to Suzai, who makes a living by live streaming, every day. He rushed to the top of the list, directly leaving the list by more than 20 streets. As for where the small money came from, of course it was contributed by several local rich people. Chen Tianqi made a few moves and was treated as a VIP by several old men, giving him whatever he wanted. And he has been here for almost a year. It's time to enjoy it. Today he will try to become the legendary grassroots person. Outside the villa, Suzai, who was dressed exquisitely, beautifully and charmingly, stood at the door and hesitated. In the past few months, she has seen how arrogant the people in this villa are. And the money seems to be printed. It can be said that he is the most suitable target for her to be a mistress. So she accepted Chen Tianqi's invitation. But she was afraid that the other party was a greasy middle-aged Mediterranean, which was too different from the majestic man in her dream. So at this time, she was a little hesitant, not knowing whether to step into the threshold of changing her life. Suzaili took a deep breath. Let him die. She didn't want to live a life of poverty. If the other person was too ugly, she would just think of it as being fucked by a dog. Just as she was about to knock on the door, she saw the door open, and saw Chen Tianqi, who was handsome, strong, tall, with a blue flame tattoo on his forehead, and full of masculinity. Suzaili was immediately charmed by Chen Tianqi. It was him. The tall and strong man I'm looking for. Chen Tianqi looked at Suzaili, who was drooling, and smiled on his face, but there was no reaction in his heart. He had seen a lot of him in the past few months. After practicing the Lingayan heart and soul method, the charm he exuded involuntarily was not something ordinary people could resist. Chen Tianqi patted Suzaili on the shoulder and said gently, "You are Xiali, right? Come in quickly." Chapter 59. Suzaili came back to her senses immediately, wiped her mouth quickly, pinched the corner of her clothes, and blushed a little, feeling a little embarrassed. This was the first time she was seduced by someone else, and in the past she was the one who seduced others. This also made her more certain that the man in front of her was the man of her dreams. "You must be Brother Chen, I am Suzaili," but her mind was full of thoughts. "It's over. I finally met a man who met the requirements. I showed such a sleazy look, he won't dislike me, right? No, I have to seize the opportunity." Suzaili's expression changed, and her eyes became firm in an instant. She followed Chen Tianqi and walked into the villa. Chen Tianqi sat on the sofa, looking at Suzaili, who was reserved in front of him with some amusement. "Xiali, you seem very nervous." No, it's just that this is my first time in a big villa, and I'm a little uncomfortable." Suzaili quickly denied it. She was still thinking about what kind of personality she should use to win over this male god. "How about you dance for me? To relieve my stress." Chen Tianqi also care and want to see what it feels like to dance live, huh? Suzaili was a little surprised. She only knew how to dance hot dances in live broadcasts. Rich people like Brother Chen usually like to watch elegant dances, right? "Oh? No, I will dance for you now." Suzaili gritted her teeth and danced, hoping that he would not despise her. Then she stood up, ready to turn on the music, and tried her best to show her beautiful curves. Chen Tianqi watched Suzaili twist her waist as hard as she could, revealing her graceful figure, with a protruding front and a curved back. After watching too many Maoiman dances in the world of immortal cultivation, it would be nice to watch modern hot dances. After a while, Suzaili was sweating and her face was ruddy. She asked Chen Tianqi nervously, "Brother Chen, these are the only dances I can do. They should be okay, right? You danced well." Chen Tianqi looked at Suzaili, who was expecting praise, and gave a positive answer. Then he looked at the animal ears on her head and the tail on her back, and said meaningfully, "But are your animal ears and tail real?" Suzaili was shocked. He wouldn't have seen through it. She hurriedly explained, "Of course not. These are all decorations." Chen Tianqi looked at the frightened Suzaili, smiled slightly, and pretended to be curious and moved closer. "Oh? Then can I touch it?" Without waiting for Suzaili to speak, he put his hand on her head and carefully felt the animal ears. Suzaili was suddenly startled, her body softened slightly, and she quickly grabbed Chen Tianqi's big hand. "Brother Chen, they're all fake. There's nothing to touch." Suzaili's reaction just now could not escape Chen Tianqi's eyes. He put his hand under his nose and smelled it, pretending to be puzzled. "But what I touched felt like it was real, and it even smelled a bit good." Suzaili blushed slightly when she saw Chen Tianqi's actions, and she became anxious and said in a very firm tone, "It's fake. These are all the decorations I carry with me." Suzaili didn't want the man she finally met to mistake her for a monster. Seeing that Suzaili was anxious, Chen Tianqi stopped teasing her and whispered to her, "I know what you are hiding, little fox." Suzaili was stunned, and a trace of panic rose in her heart. Did he plan all this long ago? Am I going to be captured and dissected? Chen Tianqi looked at Suzaili in a daze, her face changed, and her body began to tremble slightly. The corner of his mouth twitched immediately. What was he thinking? He knocked her on the head with his hand, and he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Xiaoli, what are you thinking about? What I want to tell you is that you have awakened superpowers. Su Xiaoli covered her head and looked at Chen Tianqi aggrievedly. How do I know that it is a superpower? It seems that the reason I grew a tail and animal ears, as well as the ability to seduce men, is because I have awakened superpowers? Chen Tianqi saw Su Xiaoli's confusion and immediately explained to her, your superpowers can also be said to be super genes. You have fairy genes, so you have a tail and ears, and you can also control the ability to seduce. After listening to Chen Tianqi's explanation, Su Xiaoli picked up her tail and looked at it. Suddenly she realized that this was the case. She thought she was under some kind of evil spell. Then she thought of something and looked at Chen Tianqi with a little doubt. Brother Chen, you too. Chen Tianqi walked up to Su Xiaoli, lifted her chin, and teased her. I am just an ordinary cultivator, who specially recruits demon girls like you. Su Xiaoli's pretty face turned red. Recruiting demon girls like me. Is Brother Chen confessing to me? Should I agree to him? Or should I be reserved? Chen Tianqi looked at Su Xiaoli, who was already daydreaming, and was suddenly speechless. Why does this child love to imagine so much? Chen Tianqi patted her shoulder to let Su Xiaoli come back to her senses. Looking at Chen Tianqi's speechless eyes, Su Xiaoli couldn't help feeling a little embarrassed, and she accidentally started to fantasize. She quickly changed the subject. Brother Chen, are you the legendary immortal? Chen Tianqi touched his chin, thought for a moment, and said not now, maybe later. Then can you take me with you to cultivate immortality? Su Xiaoli was a little nervous. She didn't expect that the top brother on her list was also a cultivator. She had to hold on to his thigh tightly. I'm not sure if you can practice. Chen Tianqi was a little uncertain at this time, because there was no spiritual energy in this universe, which meant that the people here would not have spiritual roots. Not having spiritual roots does not mean that you cannot practice. For example, there is a book of body refining techniques in the spirit world called Vajra Sutra, which is for mortals without spiritual roots to practice. After practicing, you can obtain acquired spiritual roots, but the key is that Chen Tianqi does not have it. Oh, okay. Su Xiaoli looked a little disappointed. It seemed that she would not be able to become an immortal. Chen Tianqi looked at the lost Su Xiaoli, touched her little head, and comforted her. If you want to try it, I can give you a method. Chen Tianqi was not just talking. Maybe he could let the system calculate and deduce a method for absorbing cosmic energy, called the Cosmic Energy Absorption Method. With a thought, the system combined the data of the cultivation methods uploaded by Chen Tianqi in the past and began to calculate and deduce. Thank you, Brother Chen. Su Xiaoli jumped up excitedly after hearing this. Chen Tianqi took advantage of the situation and hugged Su Xiaoli's body. Su Xiaoli felt the touch of his big hand and her pretty face flushed. She hurriedly got out of Chen Tianqi's arms, feeling annoyed at how unrestrained she was. Chen Tianqi looked at the shy Su Xiaoli, and saw how charming she was at this moment. She was worthy of being compared to Eri from the neighboring Valoran continent. He teased Xiaoli, it's not good to take advantage of me and then run away. Now we emphasize gender equality, so I'm going to take advantage of you too. After saying that, he pretended to reach out and attack her. Su Xiaoli blushed in fear, closed her eyes and quickly covered her chest. Although you are the man of my heart, we still need to communicate. Let's do it when the feelings are in place. After Su Xiaoli kept the action for a while, she saw that the hands were not coming. She secretly opened her eyes and saw Chen Tianqi's smiling expression. She immediately realized that she had been fooled by Chen Tianqi. She breathed a sigh of relief and felt a little disappointed. Am I so unattractive? Okay, I won't tease you anymore. I'll modify the technique and give it to you. Your task now is to go shopping with me. Chen Tianqi stopped teasing Su Xiaoli, and he wasn't that hungry. It's been more than a year since he came here, and he hasn't been shopping much, and he hasn't seen the scenes of a modern big city for decades. This time, he will take advantage of this opportunity to have a good look. Chapter 60. Hearing Chen Tianqi's words, Su Xiaoli began to daydream again. Is he going to date me? I knew he was not an ordinary frivolous man. What if he confesses to me on a date? Should I agree? Of course I have to agree. What will I name my child in the future? Chen Tianqi looked at Su Xiaoli, who began to fantasize again, and he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This time, He had a silly smile on his face. With a silly and happy expression, he couldn't bear to let the child continue to be silly. Chen Tianqi directly took Su Xiali's hand and walked out of the villa. Chen Tianqi took Su Xiali to the largest shopping mall in Xi'an City for a bloodbath. When Su Xiali heard that Brother Chen paid for the whole consumption, her eyes were shining, and she kissed Chen Tianqi twice excitedly, pulling Chen Tianqi straight to the luxury goods area. 2 or 3 hours later, Chen Tianqi, who was carrying a lot of large and small items, finally felt the horror of modern women shopping. There is no physical fatigue, after all, it is more than enough to carry a mountain. But mental fatigue is irresistible. Su Xiali didn't feel tired at all at this time. She was jumping up and down with excitement. She hadn't been so happy for a long time. Not only did she meet the man she dreamed of, but he was also a rich man. After putting the things in the mall storage, Chen Tianqi and the others came to the amusement park again. Roller coasters, pirate ships, bouncing cars, etc., all kinds of projects were experienced by Su Xiali. It can be regarded as making up for the regret of not having a date with a girl in the amusement park in the previous life. After a good time, they had a candlelight dinner. It was getting dark, dyeing the sky red, and the neon lights of the city were gradually turned on. Su Xiali happily held Chen Tianqi's hand and strolled down the street, with a smile on her face all the way. This was her first date with someone. It was also the happiest time for her, who had seen the ups and downs of the world since she was a child. Not long after, back to an apartment, Su Xiali stood in front of her house, her charming face full of tenderness, looking at Chen Tianqi with rippling eyes. "Brother Chen, are you tired? Do you want to rest at my house?" The redness gradually spread from Su Xiali's neck to her pretty face. When she said this, she felt extremely hot. Wouldn't it be embarrassing to be rejected? Chen Tianqi looked at Su Xiali, whose head was about to burst with steam, and felt a little funny. He also understood her hint. Since she decided to be a grassroots person, she should carry it through to the end. "Okay, I'll go in and have a glass of water." Then the two came to Su Xiali's apartment. Su Xiali poured a glass of water for Chen Tianqi and sat next to Chen Tianqi nervously. "Take a deep breath, don't be scared. Brother Chen, thank you for letting you spend money today, then how are you going to repay me?" Chen Tianqi took a sip of water and looked at her meaningfully. When Su Xiali heard this, she seemed to have thought of something and her face turned red again. Then I'll give you a massage and dance." Su Xiali thought about it and wanted to kiss him as a reward, but when the words came to her lips, she couldn't say them. Chen Tianqi came over, stretched out his fingers, slightly lifted her chin, showed a wicked smile, and began to tease her. "Is it just a massage?" Then he slowly moved his head closer. Su Xiali looked at Chen Tianqi, who suddenly came closer. Her head was smoking and her heart was racing. She immediately closed her eyes, raised her face slightly, and pursed her red lips. After a while, Su Xiali, who had not felt any movement, opened her eyes and saw Chen Tianqi, who was laughing. She was immediately ashamed and angry. "This is the second time. I have no charm." 1. After packing up, Chen Tianqi turned into golden light and left from the balcony of the apartment. Counting the days, it was time for Angel Yan to come. Not long after, Chen Tianqi arrived at the downstairs of the Angel building. Looking at the tall building, Chen Tianqi opened his spiritual vision and looked through it. "This time, we must acquire this." Suddenly, a red fireball pierced through the glass. The glass of the window was scattered all over the floor, and even a cloud of dust was swirled. She had blonde hair like a waterfall, fair skin, and was wearing a red battle armor dress. The design of the dress was just right, perfectly revealing that touch of white, coupled with her curvy figure. It was really hard to ignore. Behind her, a pair of snow-white wings were slightly close together, showing her identity as an angel. The president of Angel Group trembled slightly as he looked at Angel Yan sitting on the sofa. "All of you get out." He swallowed his saliva and hurriedly waved his hand to drive the others out. After the others were cleared, the president knelt down hurriedly, his tone full of fear and respect. "I have seen an angel. I never thought that the legendary angels really existed. The angels asked you to spread the faith, so this is how you spread the faith." Angel Yan crossed his legs, and the mysterious area was looming. "I'm so sorry, Angel. Times have changed, and we have changed our ways." "What method?" "By giving money." Angel Yan looked at the woman in front of her with some disdain. To her, this was a person with impure faith. "That's called investment. The president was upset when he saw Angel Yan, and he hurriedly explained himself. You are in big trouble. Evil, who is it? Angel Yan was too lazy to argue with her and was about to warn her when the gene engine detected a person's presence. He quickly stood up, drew out the flaming sword, and pointed it at Chen Tianqi. Don't be nervous, I'm here to make a deal with you. Chen Tianqi looked at the vigilant Angel Yan and smiled, trying to ease the atmosphere. Chapter 61. Angel Yan ignored Chen Tianqi, but rolled her eyes and activated the Eye of Insight. She tried to check the origins of the person in front of her. Chen Tianqi saw her rolling her eyes and was immediately unhappy. Are all angels like this? They roll their eyes when they see people? So arrogant. After a while, Angel Yan's eyes were a little confused. Because after the investigation by the Eye of Insight, the person in front of him only had information about the dark plane for more than 1 year. The scan of his body data also showed unknown, as if it was blocked by something. While she was stunned, a big hand grabbed her fair neck in an instant. Angel Yan subconsciously swung the flame sword, but soon saw a scene that shocked her. The flame sword was firmly grasped by Chen Tianqi, and with a strong squeeze, the flame sword was directly broken. Short skirt, rolling your eyes at someone isn't polite, especially to someone of unknown strength. After Chen Tianqi broke the flaming sword, he grabbed her neck and threw her heavily against the wall, raising a cloud of dust. Angel Yan Niang stood up staggeringly. She felt like her neck was about to be broken just now. With a vigilant look in her eyes, she spoke in a cold voice. Who are you? What's your conspiracy? How dare you attack an angel? Didn't I say that? I'm here to make a deal with you. Chen Tianqi looked at Angel Yan helplessly. Who told you to roll your eyes at me? Can't I teach you a lesson? This kid is good in everything except being too arrogant. He has something missing in his brain. However, these angels who roll their eyes at others are really stupid. Do they really think they are invincible? Without Kisha, they are just a bunch of chickens and dogs. Angel Yan didn't believe Chen Tianqi's words. He took out the flaming sword from the dark plane again, pointing the sword at Chen Tianqi. Since you don't want to tell me, don't blame me for being rude. Angel Yan didn't think she couldn't beat Chen Tianqi. She was just careless for a moment and was ambushed by him. And this man used so much force that she was furious. She immediately swung the flaming sword and slashed at Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi sighed helplessly. Sure enough, the left guard of the angel god just didn't have a good brain. Forget it, let her test the strength of corpse number 001. Chen Tianqi waved his hand, and a tall and burly Sumerly corpse with a hideous face, black wings on his back, and bone spurs all over his body appeared in front of Chen Tianqi. The flaming sword slashed the corpse, splashing a spark, and the Angel Yan stumbled back a few steps due to the huge rebound force. Looking at the monster in front of her, she frowned and rolled her eyes. The information fed back by the Eye of Insight shocked Angel Yan. The monster in front of her was just a corpse. Before Angel Yan could think about it, Sumerly corpse leader stretched out her arm with bone spurs and slashed at her fiercely. The huge force directly pierced Angel Yan through the building. The corpse leader roared, and his figure flashed in an instant. He came in front of her again, waving his claws violently and fighting tightly. Chen Tianqi looked at the corpse leader who used teleportation, and a gleam of light flashed in his eyes. Was it his own power? Or was it because this universe was too fragile? Angel Yan fought with the corpse leader all the way to the outskirts of the city. The buildings along the way were reduced to ruins and flames were everywhere. Short skirt, are you still going to fight? Damn it, who the hell are you? Angel Yan had blood on the corner of her mouth, and her fair and pretty face was covered with dust. Her red dress and armor were also tattered, revealing her scarred skin. Chen Tianqi flew above Angel Yan and stood with his hands behind his back. The head of the corpse Sumerly was in front of Angel Yan, and her hideous body exuded a terrifying and tyrannical aura. The black and red resentment and yin energy kept entangled around her, interfering with everything around her. The terrifying aura made Angel Yan tremble slightly, as if she was facing a great enemy, and also made her realize that she really couldn't beat this man. I really am here to make a deal with you. You beat me up like this for a deal. Angel Yan looked at Chen Tianqi with a hint of anger in his eyes. You rolled your eyes at me, which is disrespectful in my hometown. I should teach you a lesson, and I am merciful if I don't kill you. Then you shouldn't have beaten me like this. I'm an angel. After hearing this, Angel Yan suddenly realized that it was indeed a bit impolite to treat a god like this, and his tone was a bit insufficient. I just taught you a lesson, you're the one who's going to get beaten later. Chen Tianqi rolled his eyes, a little speechless. Tianqian blushed a little, calmed down, and apologized. Sorry, I was impulsive. What do you want to trade with the angel? The angel Yan, whose brain has been restored, feels that there is no need to create an unknown enemy for the angel, and immediately asks, I want 100 tons of dark iron and 100 tons of dark silver. With so many materials, what do you want to exchange for them? Angel Yan frowned. It was not difficult for an angel to take out these things, but this was a huge sum of money. The news about the void and Morgana, and this stone, Chen Tianqi said. A golden light flashed in his hand, and a spiritual stone appeared in his palm. Morgana. Do you have any news about Morgana? And what are the void and the stone? Angel Yan was immediately excited when he heard the notorious evil god Morgana, but soon he became confused about the void and spirit stone mentioned by Chen Tianqi. Looking at the slightly puzzled Angel Yan, it seems that Keisha didn't tell the little angels below everything. The void is what you call the ultimate fear. As for this spiritual stone, you can use the Eye of Insight to see it. Angel Yan activated the Eye of Insight and began to detect, and the gene engine also began to detect. Start detection, discover unknown energy, attempting first parse, analysis failed, insufficient data. Angel Yan felt incredible. After all, she was connected to the sacred treasure house. It turned out that the data was insufficient. She realized that the unknown energy contained in this stone might be an unprecedented discovery. She took a deep breath and looked serious. I can't make a decision, I need to speak to the queen. Please go ahead. Angel Yan's eyes suddenly became blank, and his consciousness began to contact Kesha through the dark plane. Yan, what happened on Blue Star again? Queen, I met an unknown god. He wants to trade dark iron and dark silver with us using the news of the void, Morgana, and this stone containing unknown energy, far away in the angel galaxy. Keisha, who is wearing a white dress, sitting with her legs crossed in the small garden with Hexie, drinking afternoon tea, suddenly became interested. Oh? Interesting, let me talk to him. Angel Yan regained consciousness, opened a light curtain, and spoke to Chen Tianqi. Our queen needs to talk to you. Then a figure appeared on the screen. Keisha, who was sitting on a chair, opened her lazy eyes, glanced at the corpse next to Chen Tianqi, and frowned. You, little guy, want to trade with us? If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 62. Hello, Queen Keisha, I wonder if you agreed to my request. Although Chen Tianqi didn't dare to scare her, he still gave her a certain amount of respect. The news about the void and Morgana is of little importance, we can get them ourselves, but the unknown energy of your stone was seen not long ago, and you have a lot of things like this, right? Keisha looked at Chen Tianqi meaningfully. This energy reminded her of the data uploaded by the angel. Among the several energy fluctuations, there was one that was exactly the same as the energy fluctuation in the stone. Yes, I still have a lot of spirit stones. Spiritual stone? Is that the stone in your hand? Then 1 million spiritual stones, and we can agree to your request. Impossible. I don't have that much. Chen Tianqi listened to Keisha's lion's mouth. This damn thing is almost catching up with half of my wealth that I have plundered for decades. Then tell me how much you have. Keisha showed an attractive smile, and secretly began to detect the spirit stone and the corpse next to her. Chen Tianqi naturally felt the spine, and frowned. These angels are really domineering. But he was too lazy to pay attention to them. Anyway, he couldn't find out anything. He would let them explode the gold coins after the transaction was completed. Only $10, too little. 10,000 yuan, $1,000, the last bottom line. If you don't want it, I'll trade with Carl. Chen Tianqi rolled his eyes impatiently, not wanting to continue bargaining with Keisha. If you don't want it, there are still many people who want it. Keisha sighed secretly. Just now, she blessed the sacred treasure house and tried her best to analyze this person, but she didn't get any information. Suddenly, she thought of something in her mind, and seeing that Chen Tianqi was going to trade with Carl, she agreed. Okay, I promise you, but I can't give you these things until I get to Blue Star. Sure, this spiritual stone will be used as a deposit. I'm not worried about whether Keisha will rob Blue Star when she comes. Although angels are overbearing, they still have basic principles. Besides, it's not like I can't beat her. At worst, I can just run away. Chen Tianqi threw the spiritual stone to Angel Yan, feeling overjoyed. He got 100 tons of dark iron and dark silver for 1,000 spiritual stones. It was really a huge profit. The deal is done. I hope Queen Kesha won't break her promise. After that, Chen Tianqi took back Sumile's corpse and prepared to leave. Seeing Chen Tianqi using a space storage technology he had never seen before, Kesha became interested again and suddenly tried to persuade him to stay. Wait, what do you think of angels? Chen Tianqi was a little speechless when he heard this. She was indeed the #1 matchmaker in the universe. Was she going to be a matchmaker for him? Angels are beautiful, but they are too arrogant and overbearing, and will suffer a disaster in the future, Chen Tianqi replied indifferently, but Angel Yan beside him was a little unhappy. Kid, are you cursing us angels? Our angel civilization is the strongest in the universe. Yes, 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 you angels are invincible. It was not you who was beaten to pulp by my little pet just now. Seeing that Angel Yan was anxious, Chen Tianqi comforted her proud little heart with a perfunctory tone. Angel Yan saw Chen Tianqi's weird face, and was angry, and wanted to start a debate with him. Keisha on the light screen saw the two people bickering, smiled slightly, and stopped her. Okay, Yan, be more mature. Don't act like a child at the age of 7,000. Then he looked at Chen Tianqi. What do you think of Yan? I think you two are a good match. The height is not suitable, but the age is too old. I am not interested in aunties. When Angel Yan heard what Chen Tianqi said, he was furious and picked up the flame sword to chop at him. He dared to talk about a woman's age. Chen Tianqi quickly snatched the flame sword and put it in Kyankan Peak. Angel Yan saw that his flame sword had lost contact and he was embarrassed in front of the queen. He rushed to Chen Tianqi in a hurry, shouting, "Child, give me my flaming sword back." Chen Tianqi waved his sword finger, and a golden light flashed, freezing the Angel Yan in the air. You always want to kill, so consider this sword as my compensation. When Keisha saw this scene, a hint of surprise flashed in her eyes. This was another technique she had never seen before, and she was more certain of her guess. I apologize to you on behalf of Yan. She is still young and ignorant. Just let her go this time. Chen Tianqi's mouth twitched. 7,000 years old, still young. Don't worry, she will recover in 10 minutes. After that, Chen Tianqi tore the space and left. Keisha looked at this unique way of moving in space, her eyes lit up, and Chen Tianqi's weight in her heart increased a lot. Then she looked at Angel Yan with a smile, shook her head, and seeing her pleading eyes, she had to try to help her solve the problem. After a while, the analysis progress was slow. Keisha sighed, and gave up helplessly. Yan, the information is insufficient, so I will let you suffer for now. Then the light curtain disappeared, leaving Angel Yan in the air, flying in the wind. Mellow heaven. Keisha frowned and checked the information recorded in the sacred treasure house. The computer was constantly deducing, but due to the lack of information data, it ended in failure every time. Hizai, who was standing by, took a sip of tea, gently lifted the black hair by her ear, and joked, "Look at our king of gods. His face is wrinkled. I found an interesting god, maybe not from this universe." Kesha ignored Hexie's joke and said to her seriously. Hexie also became interested and put away her smiling face. Are you sure you're not mistaken? Is it the void? It shouldn't be. We have studied the void, and I remember that kind of aura. This person's aura is completely different from the void, and the divine treasure house's scanning of his body information was blocked by a strange wave around him, and my intuition tells me that this person has many tricks up his sleeve and is not a simple character. I have uploaded the detailed information, you can take a look for yourself. After hearing this, his eyes' dark plane immediately connected to the sacred treasure house, and his consciousness began to travel in it. After receiving some data, the white film in his eyes dissipated, and his face was full of curiosity. Unknown energy? It looks like the stuff I uploaded before. Old witch, you asked me to talk to him about this. I am very interested in the spirit stone and his space technology. Kesha rolled her eyes. You can't talk to him. If you talk to him, I'm afraid you will be kidnapped. Come on, old lady, she's not bad looking. I'm afraid you'll fall for her again. And then you'll be sold out like before. His eye was filled with righteous indignation when he heard that Keisha was mocking him with his old grudges. Who do you think I am? Am I the kind of woman who can't walk when she sees a handsome guy? Kesha showed a contemptuous look, which made his eye feel a little guilty. Forward, that was in the past, it's different now. After saying this, Kesha showed a meaningful smile. Oh? Then take a good look at the moving corpse I uploaded. His eye frowned slightly. What was this old witch trying to do? But he did as she said and looked at the data of the corpse puppet carefully. He was shocked when he saw it. After scanning the corpse puppet, it was found that there was Sumali's genetic information in its body. This means that the monster-like thing is Sumali. Chapter 63. Hizai frowned, feeling mixed emotions. Seeing Hizai acting like this, Keisha was not worried. After tens of thousands of years, she had long since gotten over it. She immediately countered with a joke. What? After seeing your old lover being killed, you are not going to seek revenge, are you? Do you really think I'm a moron? It would be better if a scum like him died. Hizai rolled his eyes, just lamenting the passing of his first love. Who knows? After all, someone let him go. After hearing what Keisha said, Hizai felt a little guilty. It was indeed because of his soft heart that he chose to exile Sumali. But time has smoothed everything out, and he has long moved on from this relationship. The past is the past, and the present is the present. Besides, I am not a little girl anymore, and I have no feelings for that kind of scumbag. After Hizai said this, she saw Kesha's dark eyes glancing at her again, and quickly changed the subject. None of this matters. What matters is how this kid made Sumali become like this, and how he became so powerful. I don't know about that. The sacred treasure shows that this is a corpse, but I can feel that this corpse contains a powerful evil force. Currently, this child has demonstrated many unknown means, such as the technology of freezing Yan in mid-air, and the technology of traveling through space without calculation. As for the flying technology, there is no trace of dark energy at all, and I suspect he was the one who massacred the Blue Star Sakura nation that day. Maybe he is not from this universe. After all, his dark plane information is only recorded for more than a year. Keisha saw that she changed the subject, so she stopped teasing and analyzed it seriously. Hizai listened to the unknown technology one by one, and his desire to study continued to rise. According to what you said, he might be a mysterious evil god? Why don't you catch him and let me study him? If you want to go ahead. My intuition tells me that it's hard to deal with him. Kesha refused immediately. She was not a fool. Why would she provoke the wrath of an unknown god? Huh? Is she that powerful? Hizai knows the strength of the tomboy best. Excluding Carl, she is definitely the best in the universe. I'm not sure if he's powerful or not, but it's better not to provoke him. Angels have too many enemies and can't stand the torment of this great god. Kesha has a clear view of the current situation of her own forces. In fact, the current power is all due to her. At this time, a voice came into Kesha's ears. Queen, what attitude should we have towards Chen Tianqi? Angel Yan connected to Keisha's dark plane channel, and a resentful voice followed. Hizai also heard the voice like a woman crying, and looked at Keisha in confusion. What did you do to her? Keisha coughed lightly, a little embarrassed. She just left Yan there for more than 10 minutes without moving. Yan, keep a friendly attitude towards him. Besides, she is thousands of years old. It is time to find a male god who will not rot on the ground. I think Chen Tianqi is a good choice. When Angel Yan heard that her own queen was actually playing matchmaker, she thought of what happened to her in his hands, and she was called an old lady. She felt a little ashamed and angry. Queen, he is too young. In a million years, won't I be a little smaller than you? How can a warrior survive for a million years? True love will last forever. During Keisha's matchmaking, on the Great Gorge, Huangfeng tapped on the keyboard, calling up the scene of Chen Tianqi standing with his hands behind his back, and the scene of Angel Yan fighting the corpse puppet. General, these are the main personnel in the battle that took place in Cheyenne City today. From Angel Building to the suburbs, Cheyenne City suffered heavy losses all the way, then enlarged the image of Chen Tianqi, especially him. The unknown energy we detected came from him. Dukeo frowned, looking at Chen Tianqi's image, and said in a deep voice, Lianfeng, can you find this person? Being able to fight with the angels like this will be your help to Blue Star in the future. Try to get him to join the Super God Academy, so that we can also have the opportunity to explore the unknown energy. Lianfeng tapped quickly and called up Chen Tianqi's detailed information. General, I have investigated this man. But I only have information from the past year. He is currently funded by several wealthy businessmen in Cheyenne City and lives in the largest villa area. Send Aji and Kayangwei to invite him immediately. Dukeo immediately gave the order. He would do his best to get Chen Tianqi to join the super seminary. At this time, Chen Tianqi was refining the flaming sword in his villa. He tried to make this sort of top-notch magic weapon. But soon his consciousness noticed a military vehicle slowly driving into Chen Tianqi's villa. Then a figure with long wine red hair got out of the car, and another big man with a black suit and sunglasses got out from the other side. Chen Tianqi frowned. The super seminary came to him so quickly? But this is an opportunity. AG said to Kyangwei, don't put on a sour face like you did last time. This time this guy is a real master. Got it, got it. Rose didn't take it seriously. How could she not know what powerful people there were on Blue Star? Seeing Rose who didn't care, AG's face suddenly fell. Can you please stop holding me back, Aunt? Kyangwei, what I said is true. You should know that Cheyenne City was attacked not long ago. It was caused by the battle between this great god and the angel. Cheyenne City attack. I understand. After hearing this, Kyangwei's face gradually became serious. It seems that the person inside is probably a great god. If it doesn't go well, it will be a disaster for Blue Star. Seeing that Kyangwei took it seriously, AG breathed a sigh of relief. As long as his brain is still there, it's fine. Then, just as AG was about to press the doorbell, a voice came into their minds, and the door of the villa slowly opened automatically. Come in. Come up to the second floor. AG and Kyangwei were a little surprised. What kind of technology is this? Our communication channel has not been invaded. The two walked into the villa, came to the room on the second floor, and pushed the door open. They saw a surprising scene. They saw Chen Tianqi sitting cross-legged in the middle, with a stove in front of him. A raging fire was burning inside, and the silhouette of a sword could be vaguely seen. Suddenly, a golden light flashed in the stove, and a golden red flying sword flew out of the stove. Chen Tianqi looked at the refined fiery sword. It was indeed worthy of being a weapon of the fiery level. It could be directly refined into a magic weapon. He took back the flying sword, looked at Kyangwei and the others, and said lightly, Tell me, what does the Super God Academy want from me? AG was stunned when he saw this scene, which was similar to the one in the immortal novels. He only reacted after hearing what Chen Tianqi said. With a flattering smile on his face, Mr. Chen, Super Seminary would like to invite you to be the instructor of Xiangbinglian. To show your sincerity, you can put forward any conditions. When Kyangwei heard this, she looked at AG in confusion. Aren't we here to recruit him into the Super Seminary? AG signaled with his eyes, let's get him in first, and General Du will figure out the rest. Any conditions? V me 100 tons of dark iron first to see if I have the strength, Chen Tianqi said disdainfully. What conditions can those poor Denner survivors offer? If it weren't for the support and help of the Super God Academy, I'm afraid they would be worse off than Morgana. When AG heard this, he immediately broke out in a sweat. Brother, you are asking for too much? Only the top main god civilizations can come up with such a quantity. Mr. Chen, how about you change the conditions? You don't even have 100 tons of dark iron, and you're still recruiting people. Then you can show me the data of Denner III. I'm afraid I can't make the decision. AG smiled awkwardly. Brother, why are you setting such an impossible condition? Then let's get someone who can make the decision. Chen Tianqi waved his hand and prepared to invite the guests out. Seeing that he was about to be kicked out, AG spoke cautiously to try to gain a glimmer of hope. Mr. Chen, how about you talk to General Du on the spot? Talk on the spot. What the hell is Dukeo? I put forward a condition and you said this is not possible, and that is not possible. You have no sincerity at all. If you want to negotiate, ask Dukeo to come to see me in person. Kyangwei on the side couldn't stand it anymore. Looking at the masculine and handsome man, why is he so dark in his heart? Don't you see what conditions you are setting? You are almost asking us to give you all our savings. Is that how you set conditions? If you can't afford it, don't open it. If you can't afford to play, don't play. If you are poor, you can earn more. Chen Tianqi stood up and looked down at Kyangwei with disdain. How could a poor person learn to make any conditions? Chapter 64. Hearing this kind of ridicule, Kyangwei's pretty face became angry, and she stared at Chen Tianqi's eyes, as if she was about to spit fire. You have such a strong power, why can't you protect the weak people? Chen Tianqi looked at Rose, who was in a saintly manner, and smiled disdainfully. You still want to punish me from a moral high ground? Ha ha ha, I have no morals. Don't use moral kidnapping, and what do they have to do with me? I'm just here to travel and get some local specialties. Besides, this is your own territory, shouldn't you protect it yourself? Kyang Wei took a deep breath and tried to control her emotions. I know, but we are in trouble. Can't you lend a hand? It's not like I won't repay you in the future. Chen Tianqi smiled and said, of course you can. Sure, just give me the money. Don't mention the bad check. Besides, I also feel it is a bit difficult now, so can you call me Dad? I will make it up to you in the future. Isn't this obviously humiliating me? Rose's chest was about to explode with anger, ups and downs, and the space around her was turbulent. AG was quick-witted and quickly stopped Rose. Mr. Chen, I'm sorry, this kid is out of his mind. It's okay, it's okay. Here's a piece of advice for you. Practice more if you're new. Difficulties are not an excuse. Chen Tianqi smiled and shook his head. He didn't care about Kyang Wei at all. After all, the nutrients went to the back and front. Brain atrophy is also normal. If you still want to talk to me, let Dukeo come over by himself. Seeing Chen Tianqi's firm attitude, AG could only take Kyang Wei outside to call Dukeo. After a while, AG walked into the room with a flattering smile on his face and said, Mr. Chen, General Du will be here in an hour or two, please wait patiently. Chen Tianqi waved his hand, indicating that he didn't care. Then the three gods' white bone banner flew out of his body and hung on the decorative wall. He didn't forget to say to AG, isn't my artwork pretty good? AG looked at the banner with three white skeletons on top and shuddered involuntarily. This big brother has a very unique taste. He likes to collect such scary things. But the words of praise came out of his mouth. Ha ha ha, it's really pretty, unique. Chen Tianqi didn't care about AG's words and smiled meaningfully. It's really unique, yes, yes, Mr. Chen, I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of this abroad. Seeing Chen Tianqi's smile, AG quickly followed his words and tried to bring the two closer. An hour or two later, AG, who had been chatting with Chen Tianqi, received a call. He immediately knew that it was Dukeo who came. He stood up and said to Chen Tianqi, Mr. Chen, wait a moment, I will bring General Du over. Chen Tianqi waved his hand, hoping that this chatterbox would leave quickly. It was too annoying, he kept talking. The key is that he pretended to know. What is the three gods' white bone banner? Don't I know more about it than you? A moment later, AG came in with a middle-aged man in military uniform and with a dignified face. Ha ha ha, Mr. Chen, I have heard of your name for a long time. When I heard that you wanted to meet me, I came immediately. Dukeo smiled and took 2 quick steps forward. Chen Tianqi lit a stick of incense and said lightly, General Du, there's no need to be polite. Do you agree to my conditions? Ahem, Mr. Chen, this is a bit difficult, can you lower it a little bit? Dukeo coughed. He couldn't give these conditions. Well, never mind, who asked me to be merciful? Then change it to 50 tons of dark iron, or the non-core data of Denrai II. Chen Tianqi sighed and put on a compassionate face. When Dukeo heard Chen Tianqi's relenting, his thoughts suddenly became active. Should he continue to lower the price? Seeing Dukeo hesitating, Chen Tianqi did not urge him, and a barely perceptible red light flashed in his eyes. The smoke from the burning incense gradually filled the whole room, and a barely perceptible black smoke slowly spit out from the skull of the three gods' white bone banner. They kept surrounding Dukeo. Dukeo thought for a moment, and was ready to bargain with Chen Tianqi. Just as he was about to speak, he felt a huge headache. With a puff, he fainted on the table. But after only 1 or 2 breaths, Dukeo stood up again, his eyes empty. Chen Tianqi looked at this scene calmly. Now Dukeo's consciousness has entered the illusion he arranged. Then he took out the 10,000 ghosts banner. He had to cook Dukeo's soul well. An hour or 2 later, Chen Tianqi and Dukeo walked out of the room with smiles on their faces. When AG and Kyang Wei saw them, they hurried over to greet them. Dukeo held Chen Tianqi's hand, smiling so hard that his mouth couldn't close, and his attitude was sincere. Mr. Chen, I'll leave the matter of the instructor of the Xiaongbing company to you. I'll have someone send those things to you as soon as possible, don't worry, I will train them well. Chen Tianqi smiled slightly and gave him a meaningful look. AG looked at the harmonious scene and admired him in his heart. He was worthy of being General Du. It was easy to catch. Then AG and Kyang Wei took Dukeo back to the military vehicle. Kyang Wei couldn't help asking Dukeo, Dad, what conditions did you use to lure him in? 50 tons of dark iron, 50 tons. Are you crazy? Dukeo ignored Kyang Wei and looked at the gradually disappearing villa. A red light flashed in his eyes and his face looked a little weird. Then Dukeo said to Eiji, who was driving, Eiji, when Mr. Chen arrives at the super seminary, treat him with the highest standard of etiquette. Yes, General. Yang Wei was very dissatisfied with Dukeo's indifference. She curled her lips and turned her head to the side. The two people sitting in the front did not notice this strange scene. For a moment, the car returned to peace. Mars Carl, you bitch, fuck you. It is said that Blue Star is a remote and poor place, where even grasshoppers cannot jump out. As a result, he jumped out of the angel bitch and talked to this great god. I really fuck you. You're just treating me as cannon fodder to test your own potential, right? Explain yourself to me now. Morgana, who was wearing smoky makeup, leather pants and leather jacket, and a pair of tattered bat wings, looked like a shamutant, and was cursing at the other side of the dark communication. She had no gratitude in her heart for helping Carl to upgrade her to the 4th generation of divine body. According to the investigation of the big clock, there is no 4th generation divine body there, you can rest assured. Listening to these on quotations, Carl's mouth twitched, and he comforted himself in his heart. This is his goddess, don't be angry. Don't worry, your big clock is broken. Didn't you see the angel that popped out not long ago and that strange guy? Especially that kid, the evil aura of that thing around him is more evil than that of me. I feel a little nervous. You didn't cut corners when you upgraded my 4th generation divine body, did you? Morgana was not satisfied with Carl's explanation. Damn it, I just upgraded my 4th generation divine body, and when I was thinking about developing here, I met a mysterious great god. And I met those little bitches of angels. I will never give up until I get some of this pretty boy's resources. Chapter 65. Carl also heard it at this time. She just wanted more resources. Then I'll give you some more resources to revive the demon. Not enough. Bring me my devil wings. There are those bitches with angels here, and I don't have enough to fight against them. Find me some generals to help me out. Carl was so angry that he sighed. Who made him her liquor? Yes, thousands of years ago I created a 3rd generation beast warrior on Blue Star, but it was destroyed by the angels. Now I have sent Snow to revive it. When Morgana heard this, she felt that she had lost out and that a request was too little. This boy with thick eyebrows and big eyes really has a big family and a lot of wealth, so it should be okay to cheat a little more, right? Morgana was about to speak, but Carl predicted her move. That's all we have. If you still want more help, try to win over that guy. He fits your evil aura quite well. After saying that, Carl hung up the dark communication. Damn, Morgana cursed angrily. Her plot was discovered. But does this old silver coin think I'm a fool? Use me to test? But it's not impossible to try. After all, my charm has conquered a civilization. Many demons today are the ones who bow down at her feet. Moreover, this little guy's methods are different from the dark energy and stellar energy used in the known universe. Maybe it can cause harm to Keisha. If I take down the little guy, can't I press Keisha and rub her? Ho ha ho ha. Morgana confidently fantasizes about the future. She has upgraded to the 4th generation of divine body, and her suicidal attribute is directly maxed out. 1 week later, in Juxia City, there was a loud bang in the sky, and Sodden made a brilliant appearance. A tall, upright crocodile fell from the sky onto the busy street. Oh my god, I'm starving. Why are those mechanical buns still chasing me? Sodden stood up, touched his confused head, and was indignant. Then he saw the people surrounding him and taking pictures, and his eyes suddenly glowed green. Steamed buns. Steamed buns. Lots of steamed buns. Ha ha ha, I want to eat my fill, then I'll go kill those mechanical buns. Then it pounced hard and grabbed the person closest to it. Under the man's horrified eyes, the upper body was stuffed into the crocodile's big mouth by Thornton. With a strong bite, it broke into 2 pieces, and blood gushed out. The onlookers saw the monster eating people, and they were terrified and fled in all directions. Crocodile Thornton licked his bloody mouth, and when he saw his bun was about to run away, he immediately chased after it with a double-sided axe. Don't run, Baozi. I'm not full yet. When Suotin was chasing the crowd, a laser in the distance hit Suotin's head directly. Ouch, that hurts. It's you, a bunch of mechanical bastards again. I will chop you to pieces. Thornton covered his head, opened his eyes, and saw the TOD who wanted to catch him. His eyes immediately turned red, and he swung the double-sided axe, jumped into the air, and chopped it hard. But unfortunately, Thornton, who had no energy to replenish, was not enough to deal with this team. He was soon knocked to the ground and chose to continue his embarrassing escape. He rushed all the way, and from time to time he grabbed a few buns to eat to replenish his energy. Suddenly, a sword light came from the sky, and in 3 or 5 strokes, the Teodi team was directly turned into fragments. A golden light stopped in front of Thornton, and the little crocodile was startled and staggered back a few steps. "You bastard, you dare to scare me. I will eat you up." Thornton stopped and looked carefully. It turned out to be a big bastard. It immediately stretched out its claws to grab Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi calmly gave it a big slap. The powerful force knocked Thornton away, and the sharp teeth flew out, piercing through several buildings. Ouch! Thornton covered his bleeding mouth and tried to get up tremblingly. Chen Tianqi came in front of it, stared at it, and smiled. "Hey, what a top-grade consumable." Thornton's back was frightened by Chen Tianqi's stare. His eyes shrank in fear. Just as he was about to say something, a black shadow rushed into his body. For a moment, Thornton's eyes were lifeless and empty, like a puppet. Then there was a space fluctuation, and Chen Tianqi and Thornton disappeared on the spot. After a while, a dark wormhole opened. Morgana, a killer ant, walked out of it. Morgana looked around and saw that there was no one around, and started scanning. "Damn it! My third-generation beast body was taken away by this kid," Morgana cursed angrily and then complained again. "Damn it, it's all that bitch Carl's fault for not bringing my demon wings over here, otherwise I would have taken them down long ago. No. I have to go find him." At this time, Chen Tianqi brought Thornton back to the villa and placed it in a room covered with array patterns. Then he shot out several soul-devouring nails and nailed them firmly into its body. He pinched the magic formula with his hands, and a huge amount of resentment followed. He infused it into Thornton's body and began to refine the corpse in the same way. Half a day later, Thornton's corpse puppet has taken shape. The soul has dissipated, and resentment has entered the body. The body turned red and black, and the volume was 1 or 2 times larger than before. The fangs broke out of the mouth, and the claws in the hands exuded bursts of coldness, revealing their sharp edges. Chen Tianqi pinched the muscles of the Thornton corpse puppet and found that the physical strength was much higher than that of the Sumerly corpse puppet. It is worthy of being a third-generation beast body. Chen Tianqi admired his masterpiece for a while, then put the number 002 Thornton corpse puppet into the Kyankan Peak and soaked it in a special resentment pool. It still needs to be refined. Then Chen Tianqi looked at a corner of the room and spoke lightly. "Come out, that old lady." "Shit, who are you calling auntie?" "I'm your queen, call me queen." Morgana showed up, cursing, but the excitement in her eyes couldn't be hidden. It was really a treasure. Not only the mysterious space technology, but also the evil breath just now. Then the third-generation beast body was brushed by this kid twice, and it was upgraded much more powerful than before. It's just that the dark plane information status of the beast body seems to be a little bit wrong. This kid collected it too quickly, and didn't get the specific information. It turns out that the famous demon queen has a voyeuristic habit. Chen Tianqi looked at Morgana's ugly smoky makeup and his eyes twitched. It turned out to be so abstract. "I don't like what you said. Can't I just inspect my subordinates?" "Subordinates? Who are your subordinates, you?" Morgana put her hands on her hips, raised her head wickedly, and said arrogantly. Chapter 66. Chen Tianqi's mouth twitched. It was the first time he had seen someone more shameless than him. "But I like to be on top, not under someone, so forget it. No, we demons are the top power in the universe. You come to the queen, and you can have whatever you want in the future." Morgana was anxious when she heard it, and hurriedly patted her chest to guarantee future benefits. Chen Tianqi stared at the raging waves and rolled his eyes. "The demons are so poor that they can't even protect me if I go over there. Then you can me 100 tons of dark silver first to see my strength? Damn. You are asking for too much." Morgana was not happy. "I have so much dark silver, why did that bitch Kesha chase me for so long?" "Alice, you guys, if you don't have the capital, don't learn from others to ask for a lot, and then you can't take it out." Chen Tianqi patted Morgana's cheek and found that his hand was full of foundation. He immediately looked disgusted. He put his hand on Morgana's leather pants and wiped it. "You, where are you touching?" Morgana slapped Chen Tianqi's hand away with force. Then she approached Chen Tianqi, exhaled a faint fragrance, and spoke seductively. "But if you want to touch it, you can join the demon queen and come to the queen's bedroom to touch it." Chen Tianqi used the cleaning technique to clean the foundation on his hands. Seeing Morgana so close, he could see her ghostly face clearly. He pushed her away with disdain and said, "Auntie, take off your makeup before you seduce me. I really can't eat it." Morgana was so angry that she cursed, "Damn, you really don't know how to appreciate this makeup of mine is recognized as the most beautiful among demons, then your demon's taste is really low." Chen Tianqi was a little speechless. It seems that the demon's taste is indeed different from ours. Damn, just one sentence, are you coming to my place or not? If you don't come, don't blame me for being rude. Morgana was so angry that she threatened and was ready to take action. You are too poor, I don't like you. Chen Tianqi waved his hand, not paying any attention to her threat. Hearing this, Morgana directly activated the gene engine and began mental invasion, brainwashing maliciously. In an instant, Morgana came to a dark space. Morgana looked around the empty space, a little confused. Is this the dark dimension of this kid? Why is it so strange? Without thinking too much, she immediately let the gene system start to rewrite the information of this consciousness space. She wanted Chen Tianqi to become a loyal and powerful warrior under her. But as the rewriting progressed faster and faster, Morgana gradually realized that something was wrong and wanted to leave here immediately. Shit, I've been tricked. Suddenly, the originally dark space turned into a scene of birdsong and flowers, and 3 figures walked in the distance. Morgana looked carefully and realized that this was me, Keisha, and Hexy tens of thousands of years ago. Shit, this guy is invading my dark plane. Then Morgana's figure flashed like data, and she ran the gene system with all her strength to crack it. She wanted to escape from here, but the progress was as slow as a snail. Morgana couldn't help cursing in her heart. Damn, Karl is a bitch. If he hadn't been so slow, he wouldn't have moved my demon wings. Come. How could it be so difficult for me to crack? When she was cracking the calculation, the scene around her changed again. Countless people killed by Morgana turned into evil spirits and kept attacking her, until she was drowned. Outside. At this time, Morgana was bleeding from all 7 orifices, and Chen Tianqi was constantly browsing her memories, with a rippling smile on his face. You deserve it. Who told you to invade? Throw your spirit into the 3 gods' bones banner and torture it. After a while, Morgana regained consciousness, covered her head and staggered back a few steps, feeling an extremely painful head. Damn, what kind of technology is this? So weird. Why don't you try again? See if you can figure it out. Chen Tianqi looked at her with a sly smile. I'm going to try, Morgana cursed, then opened the wormhole and fled in a panic. What happened just now has made her realize that she can't catch this guy without the help of the demon wings. I can only settle the score later. Chen Tianqi didn't stop her. After all, I still need her to revive the demon as consumables for me. Then he glanced at the direction of the roof, waved his hand, and set up a large formation to cover it. These people really love to peek. At the top of Chen Tianqi's villa, Angel Yan rolled her eyes and recorded everything that happened below. She frowned and said to Queen Keisha, Queen, Morgana is just down there, why don't you let me destroy her? Don't worry, Yan, Morgana is now a 4th-generation divine body, you can't beat her. Keisha sat on the throne, crossed her legs, and analyzed the information transmitted by Yan. This kid's methods are so evil, do we really not need to do anything about it? I'm afraid you will become the 2nd Morgana. Angel Yan was a little worried. After Chen Tianqi poured resentment into the beast's body, it exuded an ominous aura, which made her feel cold on her back and a threat of death. Then you can try to make him fall in love with you, feel the beauty of an angel, and let him return to the right path. Queen, we don't have his genetic data, so we can't match him. Angel Yan was a little annoyed by this frivolous queen. Why did she always bring up this topic? After hearing Yan's answer, Keisha also felt a little overwhelmed. If she had known, she wouldn't have done any genetic data matching. Genetic data matching is just a reference given by the system to your compatibility. Your true intention is still determined by you. I understand, Queen. On Keisha's side, I looked at the universe's #1 matchmaker in silence. No way? Tomboy, are you really going to give your Zuari away? I don't think their genetic match is that high, and the personalities are somewhat incompatible. After hearing this, Keisha also sighed helplessly. There is no other way. For the future of Angel, I must seize every opportunity. Do you think he has more potential than Galaxy Force? I don't know, but the spiritual stone has been tested. The unknown energy inside can promote genetic evolution. What does this mean? As a scientific researcher, I believe you know it better than me. If he has all this stuff, it is indeed more potential than the galaxy power, which still needs to grow. I thought of the spirit stone, and her face became serious. After Tianyan handed over the spirit stone that day, she conducted an extremely detailed study on the spirit stone. Later, she found that the energy contained in it could actually promote genetic evolution. Although the progress was slow, all organisms could passively absorb this energy. Moreover, it was 100 benefits without any harm, and they all evolved in a normal direction. Tomboy, this is a big gamble. Do you think you can tie him up tightly just by Yan? Keisha looked at Hexie with ill intentions and smiled. How about you lure him over here? Tie him to the angel, after all, you are the most beautiful of our angels. His eye immediately rolled her eyes charmingly. Screw you, if you want to go, go ahead. But I warn you not to have any ideas about me. And not even my apprentices. You should pay attention to Morgana. If she really recruits you, your little angel will be in trouble. Kesha smiled and said domineeringly, isn't this me? Chapter 67. 2.5 months passed quickly. In these 2.5 months, the number 002 Sodden Corpse puppet has been refined. Its strength has reached the early stage of the nascent soul, and it can beat several number 001 Corpse puppet. During this period, Angel Yan came to the door almost every few days, racing with Chen Tianqi in the room, and fully played the characteristics of an old driver. But Chen Tianqi is not a grass eater, he eats meat. How can she tease him? Then one time, she came to the reverse Xiangang and taught her a lesson, making Angel Yan blush and run away from the villa directly. Later, she didn't come much, which made Chen Tianqi sigh. He was still thinking about having a chance to eat meat. At this time, Chen Tianqi also received news from Dukeo that the things were ready, giving him time to go to the super seminary. Chen Tianqi could only get up slowly from Suziali's gentle place, and under her sleepy eyes, he went to the super seminary. Now he has completely understood the feelings of the grassroots people and the predecessors such as the Ghost Rider. Really smooth. Chen Tianqi arrived at the gate of the Super God Academy and was stopped by soldiers because the surrounding area had become a military base with strict security. When Ag saw Chen Tianqi not far away, he quickly walked forward, sent away the soldiers on guard, and flattered Mr. Chen, welcome, welcome. We have been waiting for a long time. Ag, don't be so polite, we will be colleagues from now on, just call me Aki. Chen Tianqi patted Ag's shoulder, acting like a brother. Ha, then listen to Brother Qi. By the way, General Du has sent someone to put the things you want, Brother Qi, in warehouse number 1. Here's the warrant document, Brother Qi, you can go get it anytime. Ag is a seasoned man, he won't just say whatever others say, but always calls him brother. Okay, thank General Du for me, there is no rush now. Take me to Xiangbinglian to see what those people are like. After saying this, Ag was sweating profusely. The group of misfits in Xiangbinglian had a lot of problems. It made him so confused. A crazy goddess, a silly and innocent, a person with high eyes than the sky and low hands than feet, a person whose teeth get stuck when drinking water, a person who wants to have sex every day, and a person who always finds fault with Brother Fiji. Only Jia Yaoan is qualified, the others are all weird. Especially Liu Chuang and Zhezailan, they always fight, and the look in their eyes is like looking at an enemy. I have mediated many times, but Liu Chuang just doesn't like Zhezailan. Brother Qi, maybe it's a little unique. Ag was a little worried. Would Chen Tianqi just run away when he saw this group of weirdos? It's okay. I just like unique people. Besides, you are here. I'm just going through the motions. Seeing that Ag felt a little guilty, Chen Tianqi smiled and a gleam of light flashed in his eyes. It seems that my little cuties have integrated well. Seeing Chen Tianqi's indifferent look, Ag was relieved and took Chen Tianqi to the training ground. After a while, Chen Tianqi and the others came to training ground. Soon they saw several people training in the distance. Ag took 2 steps forward and shouted loudly, "Assemble! The heroic company, assemble!" A few people were startled and quickly ran over from a distance, lining up in front of Ag and counting their numbers. Ag was satisfied with their reaction, at least he didn't embarrass himself in front of others. The one standing in front of you now is the chief instructor. You can ask him any questions you have in the future. Chen Tianqi also took 2 steps forward and looked at them with a smile on his face. The members of the Xiangbing company immediately revealed their true colors and started to discuss. Damn, how can I pick up girls when there is a handsome guy who is as good as me? Zhao Zhen, who looked unhappy, shook his head and hit Zhezailan in the face with his hair. feeling a little indignant. Soon, Chen, who looked like he had kidney deficiency, was all black and mocked with disdain. Come on, Mr. Zin, they are way better than you. And you should get rid of your bad luck first, otherwise you will have a hard time finding a girlfriend. Fuck, you dare to say that to me? I was worried that you would only have 3 seconds in the future. Zhao Zin saw that Chen, a kidney deficient guy, dared to mock him, and immediately retorted, I'm going, you poor thing. The two men's voices became louder and louder, and they began to fight each other. Jia Yaowen, who was standing by, saw that Aji's face was getting darker and darker, and he kept signaling to his two friends with his eyes. But unfortunately, the two were already so excited that they didn't see it at all. Aji was very upset at this time. He just thought it was pretty good, but it was exposed in a few minutes. It's really embarrassing for me. He shouted angrily at Chen and Zhao Zin. Zhao Zin. What are you talking about? Come out and tell us. Chen and the other two were frightened by the angry noise and quickly shut their mouths. Phew, haha, Rui Wenwen couldn't help laughing when she saw this. But when she saw Aji's horrified look, she quickly closed her mouth and tried to hold back her laughter, her face flushed. Du Qiangwei rolled her eyes and complained quietly. Two losers. Liu Chuang glanced at Chen from time to time, as if he was planning something. The quality of the current Xiangbinglian can be said to be worrying, and they don't look like soldiers at all. Aji rubbed his frown, sighed and said to Chen Tianqi, Brother Qi, I'm so sorry for letting you see this farce. Ha, I think they are quite interesting and have great potential. When will you upgrade Chen and Liu Chuang? Chen Tianqi laughed. He would never dislike his own consumables. Hungry. We are already trying our best. Brother Qi, you know that we are too poor. It is difficult to find a resource for upgrading even if we gather the whole earth. Aji hesitated for a moment, but still told Chen Tianqi the truth. It's okay, take your time, they also need to grow up besides. Don't you have the support of Liang and Super God Academy? Chen Tianqi saw him crying poor and comforted him casually. But he began to think about whether he should ask Angel or Morgana to get a part of the resources of the third generation of gods to upgrade Liu Chuang or Chen so that they can become the generals in his hands. If you want resources, you can find this goddess. A crisp voice came from not far away. A tall figure with delicate features, a beautiful figure, and curvy curves, wearing a leather jacket and a short skirt, and black silk boots, walked slowly over. Lena walked in front of Chen Tianqi, raised her head and looked at him with her nose, and said proudly, Are you the Chen Tianqi? The man who stole the position of chief instructor of this goddess? Apart from being a bit strong and handsome, which suits this goddess taste, there doesn't seem to be anything special about him. Chapter 68. When Aji saw that this crazy woman was about to start making trouble, he hurriedly explained to Chen Tianqi, Haha, Brother Qi, don't take her words seriously, she's a little mentally disturbed. Oh my god, Aji, who are you calling abnormal with your thick eyebrows and big eyes? Do you believe me? I will let you feel the warmth of the sun. After saying this, Reina was immediately unhappy. The fireball in her hand suddenly appeared and kept pointing at Aji. Aji was so angry that he quickly pulled Reina to warn her. Lena, stop it, this is General Du who finally recruited him. Lena would not listen to him and continued to yell, What does Dukeo's recruitment have to do with me? You said before that this chief instructor would be mine, but you guys replaced him at the last minute. Anyway, I won't accept it. If you want this goddess to obey you, you have to conquer me. Then she pointed her slender and white finger at Chen Tianqi and said proudly, Can you conquer this goddess? Chen Tianqi stroked his chin, looking at the sun goddess who could detonate stars with a greedy look in his eyes. But the finished material is a little hard to work with. There are people in the sky watching us all the time. Hey, the goddess is talking to you. Are you conquered by the charm of this goddess? I see that you look like a goddess, so if you surrender now, I can still take you into my harem. Lena saw Chen Tianqi staring at her, her eyebrows raised, and she immediately looked evil. Chen Tianqi also retracted his greedy look, and spoke to Lena in a frivolous tone. Where does the sun goddess want to conquer? Is it here? Or the room? When Lena heard this, she didn't care about Chen Tianqi's teasing. Instead, she walked up and patted Chen Tianqi's chest muscles. If you can't conquer me here, how can you conquer me in the room? Come on. Goddess, I'll give you 3 moves, then I won't be polite. Chen Tianqi smiled slightly. He was not going to show any mercy to women. He stretched out his fist and hit the evil couple hard. Boom, there was a burst of sound in the air, and the huge force created a gust of wind. Reina flew backwards quickly and crashed into the teaching building in the distance. Shit, the three friends in the bush were shocked and exclaimed in unison. But soon a dazzling golden light burst out from the teaching building, and the huge energy fluctuation directly reduced the teaching building to ruins. Seeing this, Eiji's eyes twitched. Damn it, just fight, what's the big deal about destroying public property? Damn, you have no moral principles and attacked this goddess by surprise, and he even dared to hit me there. What should I do if it's dented? Lina, wearing a set of scorching sun armor, holding a sword and a shield, walked out of the ruins and shouted at Chen Tianqi in anger. She only felt a huge pain in her chest. It hurt so much? Didn't you tell me to give you 3 moves? I thought you were ready. Besides, if I don't hit you there, should I hit your pretty face? You have a divine body, so you can recover even if you get dented. Chen Tianqi spread his hands, pretending to be innocent. Lina suddenly felt that what he said made sense, but she soon realized that breasts and face were equally important, and he was fooling her. She was so ashamed and angry that she didn't want to care about the 3-move agreement, so she started to act like a rogue. 3 moves have been made. Now I will teach you a lesson. Then she rushed forward fiercely, slashing at Chen Tianqi with a sharp blade in her hand. But the action was too slow for Chen Tianqi, and he dodged it by slightly turning his body. He raised his leg and gave Lina a sidekick, and Lina kept flying backwards like a floating water. The next moment, he pinched the magic formula in his hand, and the land collapsed, and a giant hand stretched out to grab Lina. Several illusory fire dragons followed and hit her with a bang. Lina's armor was damaged, and her fair face was covered with dust. She fell to the ground in a mess. Before Lina could catch her breath, a water column wrapped around her and poured into her mouth, choking Lina and making her cry. She felt uncomfortable. Her body suddenly burst out with energy fluctuations. She broke free from the restraints, stood firm, and looked at the smiling Chen Tianqi with shame and anger. An energy wave appeared in her hand, and she was about to use her hands to make a big move to give Chen Tianqi a big one. Suddenly, a golden giant sword appeared in the sky, with a huge momentum, and stabbed towards Lina fiercely. Frightened, Lina quickly raised her shield to block it. The two collided with each other, like a meteorite hitting the earth, and huge energy fluctuations swept in all directions, with smoke and dust rolling. Seeing that the attack range affected them, several people from the Xiaongbing company ran away and hid. Rose's eyes were slightly shocked, and she murmured, "Is he really that powerful?" After a while, the smoke and dust cleared, and the entire training ground had turned into ruins. Chen Tianqi walked to Reina, who was lying in the pit. Looking at Reina, whose eyes were dull, in a state of disgrace, covered with the wounds, and with blood hanging from the corners of her mouth, he patted her cheek and said in a gentle voice, "Are you convinced? I give up. From now on, you will be my instructor." The goddess, Lina, shuddered, and came back to her senses, realizing that Chen Tianqi's methods were strange. The drive of dark energy could not be detected at all, and it was hard to defend against. Chen Tianqi nodded with satisfaction, and just accepted it. Then he waved his hand, and a light rain of dew sprinkled on Lina. All of a sudden, all the injuries on her body slowly disappeared. Lina felt that her originally painful and tired body had regained its previous energy. Suddenly she felt incredible. This guy is a warrior, a mage, and a nanny? Shit, Chen Tianqi, are you fucking cheating? How many other things do you know? Not much, at least I don't know how to use your star drive. Chen Tianqi pulled Lina up, very modestly. Lina breathed a sigh of relief. It's good that she doesn't know how to use it. She was really worried that her specialty would become a common thing. At this time, Eiji also came here with the people of the Xiaongbing company, and said to Chen Tianqi and the others with a wry smile, "Brother Qi, you guys are making such a big fuss. You guys have smashed this area to pieces. It will cost a lot of public money to rebuild it." Rena put her hands on her hips, and after hearing what Eiji meant, she wanted to take responsibility. "How big of a deal is this? How much money is it? This goddess will pay for it." Eiji glanced at it indifferently and said indifferently, "Probably several million." After hearing this, Reina was sweating profusely. She only made 5,000 a month here, which was not enough to buy clothes. It seemed that she really couldn't afford it. She felt a little embarrassed, but she had already made a bold statement and couldn't take it back. She glanced left and right and stammered, "Forward, how about paying in installments, 200 per month? I'll pay for it. After all, I caused most of the damage." Chen Tianqi stepped forward and solved the urgent problem for Lena. Lena looked at Chen Tianqi with emotion, and the slight unhappiness in her heart caused by him beating his chest disappeared, and her favorability towards him increased greatly. She put her arm around Chen Tianqi's shoulders, patted his chest, and promised from now on, the goddess will protect you. You can come to me if you have any problems. Chen Tianqi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Protect me? Are you sure I'm not protecting you? Agee's brows relaxed at this time. It was good that someone took responsibility and his own money was still there. Soon, Agee received a call from Dukeo. He scolded him first. How could he let Rena mess around? Then he asked Agee to take Chen Tianqi to the conference room to discuss something with him. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 69. Agee handed the hero company to Lena with some frustration, and brought Chen Tianqi to the meeting room. When he reached the door, Agee said to Chen Tianqi, Brother Qi, I won't disturb you from talking to General Du. Chen Tianqi nodded, looked at Agee who was walking away, and then opened the door. Du Kao was the only one in the meeting room. When he saw Chen Tianqi coming in, his eyes glowed with a strange red light. He immediately knelt on one knee and saluted respectfully. Master, I have prepared everything you want for you. Then he took out something similar to a USB flash drive and held it in his hand. Chen Tianqi picked up the USB flash drive and observed it for a moment. Is this the data of Denrai II? Yes, all the data and information of Denrai II is in it, including the power of the galaxy and the genetic data of the god of war of No Star. Dukeo respectfully explained the content of the thing. Chen Tianqi put the thing into the system and let the system start to collect and analyze it. Then he looked at Dukeo calmly. Did they notice anything unusual about you? Please rest assured, Master, I am Dukeo, and Dukeo is me, Dukeo promised solemnly. Chen Tianqi looked at Dukeo who had become loyal, and it was indeed convenient to know a few magic skills. When will Jezailan and Liu Chuang's super seminary upgrade them? Master, I have discussed this with the super seminary many times, but they want to control the genetic backdoor of the galaxy force before they are willing to hand over the resources to us. For this reason, I rejected their offer. Chen Tianqi was a little surprised. He didn't expect that the super seminary had such ambitions. So how many resources do you Denner immigrants have left? The remaining accumulation of Denner in the past, plus the collection of the past few thousand years on Blue Star, barely made up the resources of a third-generation god. When Chen Tianqi heard this, he wondered if this group of poor people from Denner could actually make up a third-generation resource. After thinking for a moment, he decided to take down Liu Chuang first. Give priority to upgrading Liu Chuang. I need this general. Yes, Master. It is his honor to serve the Master. Howly, Dukeo had a weird smile on his face and bursts of creepy laughter came out of his mouth. Chen Tianqi patted him on the head heavily and warned him lightly. Don't smile so creepily, I am a righteous person. Dukeo touched his head aggrievedly. You didn't act like a righteous person when you modified my soul before. But due to the instincts of the controlled soul, he didn't dare to act rashly. Seeing Dukeo's delicate attitude, Chen Tianqi felt a chill and quickly took out a jade box and threw it to him. Then he tore the space and slipped away, leaving a sentence behind. Find a way to get this thing to Jia Yaowen. Dukeo took the thing respectfully and bowed his head. The thing handed to Dukeo was the mother and child soul-eating goo that could only be refined with resentment. The person who took it would subtly obey the person holding the mother goo, but it was easier to crack than the way ghosts parasitize. For consumables with little potential, only goo worms are suitable. After all, emotional ghosts are difficult to refine. After Chen Tianqi left, he slowly stood up, a red light flashed in his eyes, and began to think about how to complete the task. After leaving Dukeo, Chen Tianqi came to warehouse No. 1 with a warrant. When he opened the door of the warehouse, what came into view was the dark iron emitting a black and gold light. The quantity is far more than 50 tons. It has to be said that the processed Dukeo is good. Treat Chen Tianqi with all his heart. Chen Tianqi waved his hand and put the dark iron and the entire warehouse into Kyankan Peak. Then he disappeared on the spot and returned to the villa. Chen Tianqi returned to the villa and walked into the living room. He saw Su Xiaoli wearing Chen Tianqi's big cool t-shirt, eating snacks, watching a bloody love drama, and putting her white and delicate long legs on the table, with her delicate jade feet slightly bent, so comfortable. Seeing Chen Tianqi coming back, Su Xiaoli threw the snack bag in surprise, and the two foxtails swayed left and right, and flew towards Chen Tianqi. "Brother Chen, you're back. Do you miss Xiaoli?" Su Xiaoli wrapped her arms and legs tightly around Chen Tianqi, and arched her face into his arms. Her delicate nose smelled something, trying to check if he was cheating on her. Chen Tianqi looked at Su Xiaoli helplessly, who is like a puppy. How come she has become more and more liberated since she moved in? He held her a little bit and found that she was not wearing pants, so he patted her gently. "Why aren't you wearing pants? Too many tails. It's uncomfortable to wear pants." Chen Tianqi touched Su Xiaoli's tail. It seems that it is indeed inconvenient. Since Su Xiaoli was given the cosmic energy absorption method, her genes have evolved. It began to develop in the direction of 9 tails, and maybe it will return to its ancestral form in the future. Not long ago, a new tail grew out, and the ability to charm became even stronger. Su Xiaoli felt the touch of the big hand, her body softened, and she said in a delicate voice, "Brother Chen, don't keep touching my tail, it's itchy." Okay. Chen Tianqi smiled and said okay, but his hand did not stop and continued to stroke. Su Xiaoli felt that something was wrong with her body, so she quickly let go of Chen Tianqi, ran to the sofa, hugged her tail, and looked at him vigilantly. "Are you really that serious?" Chen Tianqi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Wasn't he just a little curious about the tail? "I told you it's itchy," Su Xiaoli pouted and protested, her face full of displeasure. Looking at the angry little fox, Chen Tianqi had no choice but to take out the clothes he had specially made for her. "Come, try the ruai I made for you. It fits your body perfectly and changes style as you like." Su Xiaoli became interested and took the ruai. As soon as she touched it, the ruai attached to her body and turned into a school-style outfit. Su Xiaoli looked at the clothes in amazement. It was so magical that her tail didn't feel uncomfortable at all. Then, with a thought, the clothes on her body kept changing, including armor, cheongsam, jacket, skirt armor. There were all kinds of styles, which made Su Xiaoli excited and she shouted happily. "Brother Chen, this dress is so fun. This way there will be a place for the tail." Chen Tianqi touched Su Xiaoli's little head, lowered his head, leaned close to her ear, and said softly, "This dress is not only fun, but also very practical." Before Su Xiaoli could react, he took her to explore the secrets of the dress. Chapter 70. A few days later, Huangfeng received an emergency order. The military base near Liangshan was attacked by an unknown attack. In a moment, several members of Huangfeng hurriedly put on their black armor, boarded the fighter plane, and headed for Liangshan. On the fighter plane, Xiaolin was a little uneasy, and his hands were shaking slightly. "This? How come there's going to be a war so soon?" Liu Chuang looked at him with disdain. "Coward, Xiaolin, don't be afraid, Master Xin will protect you." Zhao Xin shook his head, put his arm around Xiaolin's shoulders, and comforted him solemnly. Du Qiangwei looked at the trembling Xiaolin, feeling a little disappointed. Is this the power of the galaxy that many people have high hopes for? Then he frowned and received a call. Received the latest intelligence that the source of the unknown attack may be the legendary Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong, Du Qiangwei exclaimed in surprise, and everyone on the fighter plane looked at her. Qiangwei, what is Sun Wukong? Qilin, who was standing by, couldn't help but ask curiously. Du Qiangwei took a deep breath and felt her headache. Our enemy this time is the legendary Sun Wukong. Holy shit, the Monkey King Sun Wukong. This is a fucking head-on hit. Zhao Xin heard it and shouted loudly, "We have to fight even if we can't win. The order we received is to stop Sun Wukong in Liangshan. You better not be a deserter." Du Qiangwei looked at Xiaolin with a firm look in her eyes, warning him. Damn, Master Xin's ancestor is Zhao Yun, who is full of courage. How could he be a deserter? As soon as Zhao Xin finished speaking, a thick stick fell from the sky and pierced the entire fighter plane. Boom! In an instant, the fighter plane exploded and fell to the ground in a ball of fire, and all the members of the Xiaongbing company were smashed to the ground. Du Qiangwei was the first to adjust her body shape and quickly issued an order to the dark communication. Qilin finds a good sniper location. Meng Meng is responsible for protecting Qilin. Other units quickly come to me. Other units quickly come to me. Damn, I ate a mouthful and vomited. Zhao Xin pulled his head out of the soil, stood up and turned into a flash of lightning, running towards Du Qiangwei. Rui Mengmeng put Qilin down. Qilin nodded at her and began to look for a suitable position. Seeing that the other people were constantly approaching her, Du Qiangwei connected to donor number 3 and began to detect the position of Sun Wukong. Soon, she found a ball of energy rapidly approaching her. Du Qiangwei quickly issued instructions to the Xiaongbing Company. Target found ahead. Jie Yaowen is in charge of control, and Jie Xiaolin is in the front. Liu Chuang is in charge of the attack. Zhao Xin is in charge of the attack, and Qilin will find her own opportunity. Jie Xiaolin and Liu Chuang heard the order and immediately went to the front. At this time, several people from the Xiaongbing Company also saw the true face of Sun Wukong, wearing armor, with a sharp face, red eyes, and extremely irritable. Shit, this is Monkey Brother. Jie Xiaolin's hand holding the big sword trembled slightly, and he looked at the Monkey King's clone in front of him with some doubt. Seeing that Jie Xiaolin dared to be stunned, Sun Wukong immediately hit him in the face with a stick, knocking him away. Liu Chuang, who was standing by, was holding a big axe and chopped at the monkey's head, but was blocked by Sun Wukong's stick, and then swung it hard. The weapon and the person were picked up and flew into the air. Then Sun Wukong jumped into the air and avoided Zhao Xin's sneak attack from behind. Zhao Xin's spear suddenly stabbed directly into Jie Xiaolin's buttocks as he fell to the ground. With a cry of pain, the chrysanthemum bloomed. Before Zhao Xin could apologize, the golden hoop instantly stretched out and attacked him. Just as it was about to hit Zhao Xin's head, a bullet broke through the air. Hitting the monkey's head, the golden hoop in Sun Wukong's hand deviated slightly and passed by Zhao Xin. Zhao Xin was shocked and broke into cold sweat. He took a breath of cold air and escaped the disaster. He hurriedly thanked Qilin. Fuck, Sister Lin is awesome. Sun Wukong touched his aching head, a smile on his lips, very satisfied with Qilin's performance. Then his eyes shone with a golden light, and he immediately knew Qilin's position. The golden hoop in his hand suddenly stretched and grew larger, and quickly smashed towards Qilin. Rui Mengmeng blocked in front of Qilin in time, and the two were smashed into the woods together. The ground cracked, and a big hand stretched out to grab Sun Wukong. But soon a violent energy wave erupted from it, and the big hand exploded. Sun Wukong's eyes shone with the golden light, and he found the position, swung the stick hard, and knocked the hidden Jie Yaowen away. Then Sun Wukong there was a fluctuation in the space around, and countless flying knives swarmed in. Sun Wukong did not take any precautions and let the flying knives pierce his body. After a sound of metal collision, Sun Wukong came behind Du Qiangwei in an instant, wanting to give her a blow on the head. A bullet broke through the air from the woods and stopped his action. Then Sun Wukong's feet sank and he was firmly controlled. Rui Mengmeng's figure appeared behind him, waving a big sword in his hand. The figures of Jie Xiaolin, Zhao Xin, and Liu Chuang followed closely, attacking Sun Wukong from different directions. There was a gust of dust, and a golden monkey hair floated in the air. Jie Xiaolin and others were a little surprised when they saw it. Oh shit, Monkey King turned into hair. You guys performed pretty well, a voice came from behind them. Turning around, they saw the majestic monkey in armor, with a kind face and no longer the irritability just now. Jie Xiaolin and the others immediately became alert again. Seeing that they were about to fight again, Sun Wukong hurriedly explained, this is a test that Du Kao arranged for me. Several people present suddenly realized what was going on, but Jie Xiaolin was a little indignant. He rubbed his face with one hand and covered his butt with the other. Brother Monkey, you hit me too hard. My face is almost crooked, and my anus was pierced. Xiaolin, you are a tank, what are you worried about? Zhao Xin patted Jie Xiaolin's shoulder carelessly. It would have been fine if Zhao Xin didn't say anything, but when he spoke, Jie Xiaolin got angry. It was this idiot who blew his ass. Fuck you, try to get your anus exploded and see if it hurts, he said as he strangled Zhao Xin's neck. Zhao Xin struggled and begged for mercy. Brother Lun, I know I was wrong. I didn't mean it. Sun Wukong looked at the two people fighting. It seemed that the team spirit was still good. But his eyes turned cold and he looked at Liu Chuang fiercely. He raised his stick, pointed at Liu Chuang, and said coldly, come hear me. Liu Chuang, who was pointed at, was confused. Did he perform well just now? Monkey brother, what do you want to talk to me about? Liu Chuang walked up to Sun Wukong, touched his head, and felt a little nervous. Chapter 71. You scumbag, get out of this team, get as far as you can, Sun Wukong shouted coldly, and with a sweep of the long stick in his hand, he knocked Liu Chuang to the ground. Liu Chuang staggered to the ground, feeling aggrieved for a moment, and then turned into anger. Just get out. If I am not welcome here, there are other places that will welcome me, you dead monkey. Remember this, Liu Chuang shouted angrily, glared at Sun Wukong fiercely, and left without looking back with the axe in his hand. Now it was Sun Wukong's turn to be confused. He just wanted to test Liu Chuang to see if he had changed his ways. He didn't really want to drive him away. After all, he carried the genes of the god of war of No Star. The future of Blue Star still depends on him. But he didn't expect the other party to not struggle at all, and just wanted to run away. Sun Wukong blocked his way with a stick and spoke coldly. Stop, can you come and go as you please in Xiangbinglian? Liu Chuang was even more furious when he saw the monkey that stopped him. It was you who told me to leave, and it was also you who didn't let me leave. Are you kidding me, you dead monkey? You stupid monkey, are you kidding me? Liu Chuang's veins popped up, and he slowly raised the axe in his hand, as if he was going to attack Sun Wukong the next moment. Seeing that the situation was not good, Du Qiangwei hurriedly grabbed Liu Chuang and Liu Chuang. Brother monkey, this may be a test for you. I tested him for paralysis. Why should he test me, just because I used to be a gangster? I don't meet this monkey's standards. Are you using me as an example to scare the monkeys? I'm going to fuck you. Liu Chuang stared at the Sun Wukong in front of him, cursing. The more he spoke, the angrier he became, spewing out all kinds of insulting words. Ah! You are indeed a scum, take my stick. Sun Wukong was a little furious after being scolded by Liu Chuang, and immediately swung the stick and hit him in the face. In an instant, blood splattered on Liu Chuang's face and he was smashed into the woods not far away. You dead monkey, I'm going to fuck you, immortal. A moment later, Liu Chuang, wearing black armor and with red eyes, rushed to the woods, activated the 5th level of blood rage, leaped into the sky, and chopped towards Sun Wukong with the god-killing axe in his hand. The people in the Xiangbinglian were a little confused at this time. They were fine at the beginning, why did they have to fight again? Who should they help now? Who should we help? Liu Chuang. Liu Chuang is not going to be beaten to death, is he? Jezailan scratched his head, watching the scene getting more and more intense. Liu Chuang was beaten to a bloody mess, and he felt a little uneasy. Don't worry, Xiaolin, we are one of the Monkey King's people, nothing will happen to us. Maybe it's just like before, another test. You know Liu Chuang's character, so it's only right for Monkey Brother to teach him a lesson. Besides, we had such a hard time fighting a clone of Monkey King, how dare this guy fight the real body? Zhao Zin was a little casual, patted Jezailan on the shoulder, stared at Sun Wukong and the others, afraid of missing a good show, and started eating melons. Du Qiangwei frowned slightly. She had just received a call from Du Kao. This attack was indeed a test. But seeing that the two were fighting more and more fiercely, she was also hesitating whether to stop it. Looking at the people in the Xiangbing company with different expressions, she took a deep breath and said, Zhao Zin is right. This attack is a test arranged by the higher-ups for us. As for them now, I think Liu Chuang will be fine. Given his personality, a lesson is a good thing. If there is an emergency, it won't be too late for us to stop it. On Sun Wukong's side, he was more and more surprised. Liu Chuang couldn't take any moves at the beginning, but now he has gradually adapted to the rhythm of the battle, becoming more and more fierce, and his strength has been rising in the battle. He is worthy of the super gene with the title of God of War. Now he can't let Liu Chuang leave. At this time, Sun Wukong also felt a little regretful. His method seemed a little radical. He didn't expect that he would have such a big reaction and play cards out of routine. But now that things have come to this, Sun Wukong can only choose to beat him. Looking at Liu Chuang, whose eyes were red and his face was full of blood, rushing up again, Sun Wukong's eyes were fierce, and he used just the right strength in his hands to hit Liu Chuang's head. Liu Chuang, who was hit hard on the head, was smashed to the ground and fainted. Sun Wukong exhaled a breath of turbid air and was about to fish Liu Chuang out and take him back to cook him well. In an instant, Sun Wukong's hair stood up, and a creepy sense of danger came from behind him. He turned around suddenly and swung the long stick in his hand towards the location of the sense of danger. A big hand firmly grasped Sun Wukong's golden hoop, and the figure of the person at that position appeared. A strong old man with yellow curly hair, tall and burly, and a big beard slowly appeared. If there were immortal cultivators from the Chaos Star Sea passing through here, they would definitely exclaim, old monster with a wild beard, monkey, You really have no manners at all. You treat an old man like me like this." Chen Tianqi's transformed barbarian bearded figure slowly spoke. He held the golden hoop tightly in his hand, and the huge force forced Sun Wukong to increase his strength and try to take it back. While Sun Wukong was wrestling with Chen Tianqi, he spoke coldly. "Who are you?" "Ha ha ha, I am the #1 cultivator of Chaos Star C, Manhuzi." Chen Tianqi imitated Manhuzi's tone and laughed arrogantly. Sun Wukong frowned. "Chaos Star C? What kind of force is that? I don't care what kind of C you are. You are hiding your head and showing your tail. You are not a good person at first glance." After saying that, he suddenly exerted force in his hand, picked up Chen Tianqi, and began to spin, trying to throw him out. Chen Tianqi felt Sun Wukong's movements, with a look of disdain on his face, and started to mock. "Humph, what a monkey who doesn't know his own limits." Then he let go of the golden hoop stick, clenched his fist, expanded his muscles, and punched the top of the golden hoop stick. The huge force directly made the other end of the golden hoop stick hit Sun Wukong's chest, breaking his chest armor and flying backwards. In the distance, Xiong Binglian saw an old man of unknown strength appear, and after a stalemate with Sun Wukong for a while, Sun Wukong was knocked away, and seeing that the situation was not good, everyone rushed up. Seeing the people from Xiong Binglian rushing up, Chen Tianqi grinned, and his figure appeared in front of Jezailan like a ghost. Jezailan was immediately frightened, and before he could react, his head was grabbed by Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi exerted force violently, just like the scene of Bakulava, and pressed Jezailan's head down fiercely. A miserable cry followed, and Jezailan's upper body bones were shattered. His head seemed to be pressed into his chest, and he fell to the ground. Zhaozin saw Jezailan's miserable state, and was filled with anger. His figure turned into a flash of lightning, and his spear stabbed the Chen Tianqi's back. Chen Tianqi's figure flashed, dodged Zhaozin's attack, and appeared behind Zhaozin. Then he raised his big foot and kicked Zhaozin's spine hard. Boom, there was a loud bang, and Zhaozin arched his body with a look of pain on his face. He only heard the sound of his spine breaking, and the whole person flew backwards like a rocket. Zhaozin. Xiaolun. When everyone saw the tragic appearance of the two, their eyes turned red and they were about to step forward to take revenge. But the next moment, Sun Wukong appeared in front of them to stop them, saying in a serious tone, "Du Qiangwei, lead the heroic troops to retreat, you are no match for him." Du Qiangwei looked at Jezailan's miserable state and realized that the person who came here had bad intentions. He was able to make Jezailan, whose defense could not be penetrated by artillery shells, into the state. This person's strength was definitely not something we could match. She felt a little unwilling in her heart, gritted her teeth, and gave the order to the Xiaongbing company. "Take Jezailan, Zhaozin, and Liu Chuang with you, and we will retreat." Seeing them walking away with Jezailan and Zhaozin, Sun Wukong turned around and looked into the eyes of the barbarian bearded man disguised as Chen Tianqi. He pointed the golden hoop at Chen Tianqi and said in a stern tone, "You demon! What is your purpose in coming here? Humph, you stupid monkey, what does my presence here have to do with you? Look at your pointed face and monkey cheeks, you look more like a demon than me, right?" Chen Tianqi snorted coldly, crossed his arms and mocked. Chapter 72. "Since you won't tell me, I'll beat you up." Sun Wukong bared his teeth, his eyes fierce, and swung the golden hoop in his hand towards Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi's muscles bulged, and he grabbed the golden hoop with both hands and pulled it back. The huge force directly pulled Sun Wukong over. In an instant, he came in front of Sun Wukong and smashed his iron fist towards his face, shouting arrogantly, "You stupid monkey, practice for another few tens of thousands of years." It was too late for Sun Wukong to defend himself. He was hit in the face by Chen Tianqi's fist, which directly sank into his face. His body suddenly fell to the ground. Bang! The whole ground trembled slightly, and an extremely huge deep pit appeared on the ground. Sun Wukong, who was hit by a solid punch, actually felt that his body was a little overwhelmed. You know, he is a third-generation beast. Where did this man in Chaos Star C come from? I can't even detect any wormhole fluctuations. How to deal with him? Just as Sun Wukong was lying in the big pit thinking about countermeasures, a huge golden sword that covered the sky and the sun quickly came down from the sky and stabbed at him. Sun Wukong was about to use the golden hoop to fight back, but he found that his hands were empty. Looking carefully, Chen Tianqi was holding the golden hoop and laughing at him. "Ha ha ha, monkey, stop playing with a stick and play with my big sword, ah! You damn demon! Sun Wukong's eyes were bloodshot, and the genetic system in his body was running desperately. It disappeared at the moment the giant sword came. The giant sword pierced the ground, the land cracked, and huge energy waves swept in all directions. The space around Chen Tianqi fluctuated, and a hand covered with monkey hair grabbed the golden hoop in Chen Tianqi's hand. But Chen Tianqi's consciousness had already discovered him, so how could he let him succeed? Chen Tianqi grinned, and swung the golden hoop hard at Sun Wukong's waist, knocking him away. Then he moved instantly and came to Sun Tianqi. Behind Wukong, he swung the stick at his back again. Just like that, Chen Tianqi's figure flashed in the air, and he kept hitting Sun Wukong as if he were a ball. After a while, with a blow to the head, he smashed Sun Wukong to the ground. An extremely huge deep pit appeared again. Sun Wukong lay in it, his armor was broken, his originally golden hair became sparse, his body was covered in blood, and his eyes were a little dazed. But when he saw Chen Tianqi approaching in the air, he still propped himself up, stood up, and said with a grin, "You demon! If you have the guts, return my golden hoop stick to me, ha ha ha, monkey, take it." "But do you think you can beat me with a stick?" Chen Tianqi laughed and threw the golden hoop in his hand to Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong didn't expect that the old man would actually return the weapon to him, but he didn't bother to think too much and caught the stick. He jumped into the sky, transformed into countless clones, and attacked Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi looked at the countless clones of Sun Wukong, who was worthy of being a bug monkey. Although his strength was not as good as the original body, this trick was quite bluffing. Chen Tianqi stood on the air, and a golden red energy suddenly erupted around him, mixed with scorching heat, turning a large number of clones into monkey hair. Then his own pressure followed, like an impenetrable abyss, carrying an indescribable aura. As the clones continued to decrease, Sun Wukong's figure was gradually exposed. Feeling the terrifying pressure of Chen Tianqi, he trembled slightly. But his mission prevented him from yielding. He stared at Chen Tianqi intently and quickly attacked him. Ah! With a loud cry, the golden hoop in his hand made a sound of breaking through the air and swung towards Chen Tianqi's head. However, the next second, Chen Tianqi's figure disappeared from Sun Wukong's sight. Before Sun Wukong's nerves could react, Chen Tianqi had already appeared behind Sun Wukong. With both hands clenched and smashed down hard, Sun Wukong hit the ground again like a cannonball. It's really boring. It seems that this technological monkey is not the real Monkey King after all. Chen Tianqi looked at the deep pit that had been silent for a long time and felt a little bored. The soul-devouring nail in his hand quietly appeared, ready to end this farce. Suddenly, a dazzling golden light burst out from the deep pit, and a huge long stick rushed towards Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi quickly held the top of the golden hoop with both hands and tried to push it back. To his surprise, he found that the opponent's strength had increased countless times compared to before. Could it be that this monkey exploded? Just as Chen Tianqi was trying to hold on, a figure with 3 heads and 6 arms suddenly appeared behind him, holding the golden hoop and smashing at him. Chen Tianqi had no time to react and was knocked away by the fierce blow. He felt severe pain in his body. Looking carefully, he saw several 3-headed and 6-armed Monkey King clones following closely behind him, waving the golden hoop in their hands and attacking him. Chen Tianqi's body was covered with the golden light, blocking the continuous attacks and quickly stabilizing his body. Netherworld flames suddenly appeared in his hands, and he clenched them and suddenly released them in all directions. Several clones were quickly entangled by the netherworld flames, gradually submerged and burned, and finally turned into strands of floating monkey hair. Chen Tianqi looked at the light and floating monkey hair and said calmly, "Monkey, come out. I didn't expect you to have a trick up your sleeve, you demon. You have so many tricks. Today, even if I risk my life, I will take you down." A golden figure suddenly appeared, and the 3-headed and 6-armed Sun Wukong's eyes flashed with golden light. His armor was able to gather again, and he held 3 golden cudgels in his hands, staring at Chen Tianqi with a grin. "Ha ha ha, monkey, I'm very satisfied with you." Chen Tianqi grinned and was very satisfied with the new form of Sun Wukong. Because the stronger he is, the greater his gains will be. After that, Chen Tianqi summoned 72 green bamboo bee cloud swords, and the golden thunder pythons around them kept flashing, forming a tight encirclement to surround Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong roared and rushed towards Chen Tianqi. Chen Tianqi waved his hand and controlled the green bamboo bee cloud sword to continuously stab Sun Wukong. The two fought fiercely in the air, causing huge energy fluctuations. As the battle intensified, the clouds in the sky were stirred, accompanied by thunderous thunder, and golden thunder spread across the clouds. The strong thunderstorm attacked everything around it indiscriminately, and even the buildings in the distance were affected and severely damaged. Under the interference of this thunder, the surrounding magnetic field fluctuated and became chaotic. The Yan Kingdom army, which was still detecting in the distance, had sparks flying from its electronic equipment. After receiving Du Cao's order, attention all troops, evacuate Liangshan area immediately, evacuate Liangshan area immediately. The 72 green bamboo bee cloud swords gathered together under Chen Tianqi's control, forming a huge golden sword. The sword body was wrapped with thick golden thunder, and it suddenly slashed towards Sun Wukong. Ah! Sun Wukong roared, and the golden hoop in his hand expanded with his momentum, waving to meet the giant sword. Bang! With a loud bang, when the giant sword collided with a golden hoop, a strong air wave erupted, and the surrounding earth and trees were instantly overturned by the fierce force, and the trees were uprooted. Sun Wukong gritted his teeth, his veins exposed, and resisted with all his strength, but the golden hoop in his hand began to crack under the tremendous pressure. With a crisp breaking sound, the golden hoop finally couldn't resist and broke into two pieces. Chen Tianqi's giant sword carried the evil repelling divine thunder and slashed at Sun Wukong's shoulder fiercely. Boom! The 72 green bamboo bee cloud swords combined into one released a large amount of evil repelling divine thunder, forming a dazzling golden thunder column, and the thunder passed through the body, constantly shocking Sun Wukong. Wrapped in the golden lightning column, Sun Wukong's body was tightly bound by thunder and was constantly bombarded, emitting screams one after another. Chen Tianqi flew to the top of Sun Wukong, quickly formed seals with his hands, and a golden pattern appeared in front of him. Countless golden magic blades condensed and shot towards Sun Wukong, piercing his body. Afterwards, Chen Tianqi launched the giant sword technique again, and a larger sword condensed in the air, like a divine blade from the sky, suddenly piercing into Sun Wukong's body and falling to the ground with him. The ground instantly shattered, forming a huge crater, dust flying, and the scene was like doomsday. I have to say you are quite resilient. Chen Tianqi slowly flew to the front of the pit and looked at Sun Wukong lying in the deep pit. At this time, he had returned to his original appearance, but his originally golden hair was all burnt black, and his whole body was like a piece of coal. There were countless blood holes on his body, and there was a fracture from top to bottom from his shoulder to his abdomen, as if his whole body was about to break into two sections. Sun Wukong was breathless, propped up his heavy eyelids, looked at Chen Tianqi, and said tremblingly, You monster, old son, lose, you are coming for me, please, don't hurt innocent people. Oh? How did you know that? Chen Tianqi immediately became interested and looked at him meaningfully. Ahem. I can still sense your murderous intent. You can do whatever you want to me, but please spare this country. They are innocent. Sun Wukong coughed and grinned, his thoughts flashing through the land he had been protecting for thousands of years, the land, the close friends he met on the road, and the girl who could not respond. With a generous determination, he went to his death. Don't worry, I only take what I want. I'm not a bloodthirsty person. After hearing Chen Tianqi's response, Sun Wukong smiled and looked up at the sky with a dazed look. As his consciousness gradually blurred, he began to sink slowly. Master, I have guarded this land for a long time. I am a little tired. Maybe it's time to rest. Chapter 73. Chen Tianqi was somewhat surprised. As Sun Wukong's consciousness gradually dissipated, his genetic data also gradually disappeared. Only some partial dark plane information was left, indicating that he had existed in this universe and could not be resurrected. But it was harmless. After all, Chen Tianqi only wanted his body. He examined Sun Wukong's slightly broken body and frowned slightly, hoping that this would not affect the power of the body after refining. With a wave of his hand, he took him into the Kyankan Peak and soaked him in the pool of resentment. After completing all this, he looked up at the sky, and his figure disappeared in an instant, leaving behind a messy battlefield. Outer space on Earth. Angel Yan and several little angels stood across the sky, rolling their eyes and opening their eyes of insight to record everything that happened in Liangshan. Yan, what do you think of this barbarian bearded man? Kesha's ethereal voice echoed in Angel Yan's mind. Queen, his strength far exceeds that of the third-generation gods, and I think he may have some connection with Chen Tianqi, perhaps from the Chaos Star Sea he mentioned. Angel Yan frowned. Being able to beat Sun Wukong, a third-generation beast, without any chance of fighting back, it is impossible for him to be unknown in the universe. In addition, the dark plane information of this barbarian beard showed that there was no such person, and the unknown energy fluctuations were exactly the same as Chen Tianqi's. The only difference was that the two people's auras were different. Well, you are right. Try to get some words out of Chen Tianqi to see if he recognizes this person. Kesha looked at the video of the battle between Barbarian Beard and Sun Wukong and felt a little headache. How come so many unknown beings appeared in this corner of the earth? Could it be that Carl, the old silver coin, did it? It seems that before she goes to the earth, she has to go to the Styx Nebula to knock Carl down. Earth, high above the Pacific Ocean. On the hidden demon warship, many demons dared not breathe. Carl, fuck you. Is this what you mean by the earth is not on danger? Even this difficult monkey was killed by an old man who appeared out of nowhere. I really fuck you, Morgana cursed Carl on the other end of the line. You tricked me into coming to earth, saying there was a good place to rebuild my home. I'm going to scare you. Who knows how many great gods will pop up in the future. Lian Bing, don't be angry. I didn't expect this to happen on earth. Carl's face was calm. He was used to Morgana scolding him. He just comforted her in a gentle voice. Bitch. Don't call me Lian Bing, call me Queen Morgana. You said you didn't expect it, but I believe you. Can your big clock eat food? Tell me what kind of power this Chaos Star Sea is. Morgana was still cursing, but she didn't believe that Carl couldn't calculate it. She just thought he was deliberately concealing it and using her as a gun. The big clock has counted and no such person exists. Moreover, the records of the great clock did not find any force called Chaos Star Sea in the universe. Carl looked deeply at the position of the earth, and felt that his wish to touch something outside the universe was about to come true. Damn, what a rubbish clock you have. I can't even find anyone. You better bring some resources over to me. I want to upgrade all my subordinates. I feel very insecure now. Morgana put one hand on her waist and pointed at Carl in the void. Forward, can you give me a few of the spirit stones in that kid's hand? Carl's mouth twitched. Facing Morgana's rogue, he thought for a moment and agreed. Spirit stone? What spirit stone? What are you hiding from me, you son of a bitch? Morgana was furious when she heard something she had never heard of before. This little bastard was hiding something from her ally again. Carl was silent for a while. He didn't expect that Morgana would not know about the spiritual stone with unknown energy source in Chen Tianqi's hand within the scope of the earth. Bitch, say something to me. Damn, previously, the big clock scanned and obtained information about Chen Tianqi's transaction with the angel. The unknown energy came from a stone, which he called the Spirit Stone, and shouldn't you update your computer? Faced with Morgana's outdated information, Carl still chose to tell her bitch, do you think everyone has a big clock like you? Morgana gave Carl a middle finger. Do you think I don't want to update? I don't have the resources. But this guy actually has such a good thing. I have to find a time to take revenge and then tie him up. If this guy becomes my warrior, then all these things will belong to me. Morgana started another day of YY, and heard Carl's gentle voice in her ears. Lian Bing, if you can get the Spirit Stone, I can exchange it with you for resources. I told you to call me Queen Morgana. I will exchange one Spirit Stone for a third-generation god resource. Morgana opened her mouth and offered the highest price. Carl pondered for a moment. If Liang Bing could really get the Spirit Stone, it would not be impossible. Condemn, you've agreed to this. Is the Spirit Stone so important to you? Morgana was surprised. This is a third-generation divine resource. Normal people would refuse and bargain. No matter how rich you are, you can't squander your money like this. Lian Bing, I am a scholar, and unknown things are the most precious to me. Carl smiled slightly. His huge wealth is one thing, but what is more important is the knowledge system that can be born here. Okay, you are such a rich guy. I will exchange with you if I can get the spiritual stone. Morgana was a little excited, and she wanted to snatch all the spiritual stones from Chen Tianqi. The demons are all third-generation gods. The demons on the battleship looked at the crazy queen, a little confused. She cursed at one moment and danced excitedly the next. What was going on? In the meeting room of the giant gorge, the senior executives present were silent and the atmosphere was solemn. The pot-bellied Mr. Wang took a deep breath, breaking the solemn atmosphere, and asked Lian Feng, Zio Lian, is Sun Dashan really dead? Well, Sun Wukong's vital signs have disappeared, and even his genetic data has been cleared. Lianfeng's face was a little gloomy. It was not a good thing for Blue Star to lose a powerful fighter at this critical time. Damn it, can we find the murderer? Kill him. A hot-tempered senior official of Yan State slammed the table hard, speaking in a fierce tone. How many times has the Liangshan area been plowed? The mountains have been flattened, didn't you see? What can we do to him? Another high-ranking official of the Yan State next to him directly refuted his words. Even if we find it, with our current combat power, we are just delivering food to others. Lianfeng controlled the panel, enlarged the image of Barbarian Beard, and explained to everyone present. This old man's strength is probably far beyond that of the third generation of gods. In the universe, the third generation of gods can be said to be the main gods of a civilization, so our best strategy is to ignore it and develop secretly. Xiao Lian is right, we are not their opponent, now we still need to focus on the growth of Xiangbinglian. We will still need them in the future. Faced with Lianfeng's answer, Mr. Wang agreed. Now we can only have hope for the Xiangbing company. Ms. Lianfeng, how is the Xiangbinglian growing now? A square-faced Yan Guo asked. Due to the shortage of resources, most of them are first and second generation super soldiers. It won't be very useful on the battlefield, so General Du decided to use our previous accumulation to upgrade Liu Chuang to the third generation god level. Lianfeng reported the situation of the Xiangbinglian people truthfully, but this was also questioned by others. Why Liu Chuang? He used to be a gangster. Can you guarantee his loyalty to the country? Many Yan country leaders began to question. Du Cao's eyes flashed a barely perceptible red light, and he looked at the many high-ranking officials with a calm expression and said lightly, although Liu Chuang was a social scum before, after being reformed, he still has team spirit and national sentiment, except for his hot temper. As for why he was chosen, it was because he was the super gene of the Noxing god of war in the three major god-making projects, and he had the characteristic of becoming more courageous as he fought more. The current gene limit is also the third generation of gods. After upgrading, the power of super genes can be fully exerted. What about Jezaialan? I remember he was also in the three major god-making projects. A senior official with the same rank as Du Cao couldn't help asking. Galaxy Force is the last work of the space principle. It has great potential, but we haven't found its genetic direction yet. If we choose to improve it, I'm afraid it will be a waste of time. Du Cao glanced at him and replied calmly. Well, Lao and his men know these things better than we do, so we shouldn't give blind orders and disrupt their plans. When Mr. Wang saw that someone else wanted to continue questioning, he spoke out to stop them. Thank you for your trust, Mr. Wang. I have another suggestion. Du Cao looked at everyone calmly. I propose that Chen Tianqi take over Sun Wukong's position and lead the Xiangbinglian. Chen Tianqi? Who is that? Many senior executives were discussing this, and Wang Lao heard the name sounded familiar, and asked with some confusion. Chen Tianqi? Is he the chief instructor of the Xiangbing company whom you recruited? I remember that it was a nominal position, wasn't it? Is he very powerful? Du Cao signaled Lianfeng to open Chen Tianqi's information, stood up and faced the projected information, and began to explain to everyone present. Chen Tianqi, whose physical strength is not inferior to Rina, has many methods, and is unknown and strange. Through the battle with Rina, we compared the information and felt that his fighting style is similar to the immortal in the myth of Yan State. He may not be as strong as Sun Wukong, but he is also the strongest fighter on Blue Star. So I suggest that he be the acting commander of the heroic army to fight against future invasions. Everyone nodded. It turns out that there is such a person. The anxiety caused by the death of Sun Wukong in their hearts also dissipated a lot. But Mr. Wang was a little worried. He remembered the file of this person. He couldn't find his origin at all. Old Du, can this man be trusted? Will he agree to act as the agent of Xiangbinglian? Du Cao's eyes were deep and he said in a buzzing voice. Mr. Wang, don't worry, he is a relatively kind-hearted person, and I have a good relationship with him, so he will agree. Wang Lao nodded, feeling relieved. I'll leave it to you. Chapter 74. A few weeks after the Liangshan incident, Chen Tianqi agreed to Du Cao's request and was responsible for leading the Xiangbinglian team in the future. Now he often appears in the Super Seminary, and from time to time he secretly receives the resources secretly collected by Du Cao, and inspects the training of the Xiangbinglian. Then one morning, Chen Tianqi received a message from AG, and was ordered to lead the Xiangbinglian to the Juxia. There is a sea area around Juxia City. On the Azure Sea, There is a huge aircraft carrier. When the helicopter flew close to the aircraft carrier, Chen Tianqi told the confused Huangfeng about the situation. This is the Grand Canyon. You will start your training here from today. Oh shit. Aircraft carrier, there are still many people down there, several of the unsophisticated members of the Huangfeng company exclaimed. Chen Tianqi stood up and signaled to AG next to him. AG immediately understood. He quickly stood up and shouted, "Now, everyone stand up. Start the airdrop. Today's training goal is to dress in the air. Act quickly." The Huangfeng company hurriedly stood at attention, and one after another, they jumped out, and the black armor continued to cover their bodies, falling towards the deck of the aircraft carrier. Chen Tianqi saw everyone jumping down, stretched his waist, and was about to dodge down, but was suddenly grabbed by Lina, staring at Chen Tianqi, and said, "Please conquer me." Chen Tianqi suddenly felt a little confused. Sun Wukong was dead, so he was crazy about him, right? Before Chen Tianqi could respond, he was dragged down by Lina. But Chen Tianqi was too lazy to go through this process. He disappeared beside Lina with a teleportation, and then appeared on the deck of the aircraft carrier with a flash of golden light. Looking at the staggering Huangfeng, he shook his head and sighed to AG, who had just landed. "AG, your training results are so good that I really want to deduct your salary." AG's face was full of black lines, and his heart was extremely sad. His little money was going to disappear again, but Chen Tianqi was his boss, so he couldn't refute it too much. He could only vent his sadness on the people in the Huangfeng company, and shouted angrily at the few ugly people. "What the hell are you guys dancing? My Tainai dance is better than you. Today we'll add another event to our training, 100,000-meter freestyle swimming." At this time, Lina also landed perfectly next to Chen Tianqi, staring at Chen Tianqi with a resentful look, and said faintly, "My hands are dirty? Is it possible that the goddess took the initiative once and you are so disappointed? I have a faster way to land. Why should I fight with you in the sky?" Chen Tianqi rolled his eyes, not understanding the situation at all. Then he took out a lounge chair and a parasol, walked to a nearby place, then lay on the lounge chair, adjusted the parasol, and began to leisurely enjoy the sea view in front of him. Lina looked at Chen Tianqi, who was like a steel straight man, stamped her feet, and could not do anything to him. After a while, on the deck of the giant gorge, in the huge venue, several people from the Huangfeng company were wearing black armor and were constantly receiving training from AG. Since learning about the death of Sun Wukong, everyone in the Huangfeng company has been holding back a breath of anger and began to train desperately. But there are also a few people who are obviously not in good shape. Jezailan was frightened by that encounter and was a little timid. Although his body has recovered, he always wakes up from his dreams that he is crushed into meat pie by the old man with a grin. Jia Yaowen was wandering in the sky, his spirit declined significantly, and he was obviously not in good shape, slacking off in the training team. AG looked at Jezailan with a black face. Wasn't it just a serious injury? How come he is more of a loser than before? Jezailan, are you embroidering? Use your sword, and Jia Yaowen, if you keep slacking off, I will make you swim 1,000,000 meters. Ha ha ha. Jezailan, you act like a bitch when you act like a bitch. Liu Chuang saw Jezailan's face and laughed sarcastically, causing several women around him to frown. Liu Chuang, is it appropriate for you to laugh at your comrades like this? AG walked up to Liu Chuang and shouted, "Report to the instructor. A coward like Jezailan is not worthy of being my comrade in arms." Liu Chuang still looked at Jezailan with disdain and stubbornness. Ever since Liu Chuang learned that he would start to be promoted soon, coupled with the news of Monkey's death, the depression in his heart was swept away. He walked in the team with crab steps and was extremely arrogant. After hearing this, AG felt a headache. This Liu Chuang was like a ghost. Why was he so vengeful and getting angry and violent more and more easily? He couldn't get rid of this gangster aura, and he didn't know whether the decision to upgrade Liu Chuang was a good thing or a bad thing. Jezailan, step out. Don't you feel humiliated when he mocks you like this? Beat him up. AG chose to let them fight, to boost Jezailan's morale while giving Liu Chuang a beating. We are all comrades, so we don't have to be like this, right? Jezailan walked out hesitantly, and felt a little scared when he saw Liu Chuang, who was about to move. Before AG could say anything, Liu Chuang came up with a god-killing axe, and Jezailan hurriedly raised his sword to block it. AG saw that he was retreating to block while Liu Chuang was attacking fiercely, and felt helpless. Jezailan, You are much tougher than Liu Trang, so go and beat him. He had no choice but to shout at Jezailan, Jezailan. Look at you, you are so cowardly, don't let Kyangwei look down on you. She will reward you if you win. As soon as the words fell, a sharp gaze came from the side. Eiji felt Du Kyangwei's cannibalistic eyes, sweating profusely, and felt a little embarrassed, so he quickly explained, well, inspire his fighting spirit, don't take it seriously. Hearing Eiji's words, Jezailan was a little moved. Yes, there are several women watching at the scene, Kyangwei is also looking at me. If you want to get the reward and get a girlfriend, you can't be a coward. Jezailan's eyes instantly became firm, and he rushed forward, swung the sword, and slashed at Liu Chuang fiercely. The power of lust was burning. Seeing Jezailan mustering his strength to fight with Liu Chuang, waving the sword with great power, Eiji nodded with satisfaction. Sure enough, beauty is needed to deal with this kind of lust. Chapter 75. Lena and Chen Tianqi were lying on chairs in the distance and saw this scene. Lena sat up with her arms folded across her chest and praised with interest. Eiji is a smart guy. He immediately motivated Jezailan. Indeed, they are good at making big promises. Chen Tianqi looked at Jezailan and Liu Chuang with deep eyes. They could not get rid of the ghost's parasitic on them. After the upgrade, they could start harvesting. Then he turned his attention to Lena. Lena, can you transmit stellar energy? Lena became interested and patted Chen Tianqi on the shoulder. Oh? You are lacking energy. Since you paid me millions before, I won't bother you about what happened just now. I'll give you as much energy as you want. Lena patted her chest generously, causing a beating ripple. Chen Tianqi's eyes could not help but move up and down with this source of life, and he said lightly, you said it, I want a lot of energy, don't regret it, goddess, I will do what I say. Lena noticed Chen Tianqi's gaze, straightened her head slightly, and sneered. She didn't think Chen Tianqi could consume much of her energy. She was the goddess of the sun, a fighter among power banks, and immediately stretched out her hand. Come, give me your hand, I will supply you with stellar energy now. Come, give me your hand, I will supply you with stellar energy now. Chen Tianqi sat up and held Rena's slender hand with his big hand. When Rena felt the touch of Chen Tianqi's warm palm, her cheeks flushed slightly. But she quickly adjusted her mentality, activated the genetic system, connected to the sun of the Chihui galaxy, and began to supply energy to Chen Tianqi. Soon Chen Tianqi felt a stream of hot energy constantly passing from Rena's hand to his body. Chen Tianqi activated the furnace of heaven and earth, and the little mouth of the nascent soul in his body opened, and the huge suction force continued to absorb Rena's energy. The bodies of the two people exuded a faint golden light and waves of heat. After a while, Rena looked at Chen Tianqi with some horror in her eyes. She originally thought that she had stuffed the energy in, but she didn't expect that she was sucked in without any ability to fight back. The rate of extracting stellar energy could not keep up with the rate of Chen Tianqi's absorption. As a result, the suction seemed to suck Rena's own energy as well. Rena couldn't help struggling and wanted to break free. Enough is enough. No more sucking. If I continue to suck the goddess's energy, I will lose all my energy. No, you said I can absorb as much as I want, and I haven't absorbed enough. Chen Tianqi held Lena's hand tightly, refusing to let go, and said with a playful smile. Hearing Chen Tianqi's words, Lena couldn't help but feel a little regretful, but now she could only grit her teeth and increase the rate of extracting stellar energy in an attempt to replenish the energy she lacked. But as time passed, Lena felt more and more weak, her feet softened, and she fell into Chen Tianqi's arms, like a salted fish, and said weakly, stop sucking. If you continue, goddess, I really want to fuck you as an adult. It's okay, I know my limits, I'll leave you some energy to move around. Chen Tianqi hugged Lena, not caring about her words at all, and shamelessly continued to operate the furnace of heaven and earth to absorb stellar energy. After a long time, Chen Tianqi felt a sense of saturation in his body cells, his pores dilated. And he felt extremely comfortable, so he stopped operating the furnace of heaven and earth. In contrast, Lena looked weak and pale. She collapsed in Chen Tianqi's arms, as if she was extremely uncomfortable with motion sickness. She was weak all over and couldn't even muster up a little strength. Then Chen Tianqi's aura burst out, and a huge pressure swept around, attracting Jezailan and Liu Trang, who were still fighting, and the Xiangbinglian felt as if a mountain was pressing down on them, and they all turned to look at Chen Tianqi and the others. The spiritual energy transformed from the huge stellar energy broke through the bottleneck of the early nascent soul stage, and continued to strengthen the body. The aura was constantly rising, barely reaching the late nascent soul stage, but the price was that Lina was almost exhausted. Chen Tianqi restrained his own aura and smacked his lips. It was a pity. He thought he could reach the peak of the nascent soul stage, but he still overestimated his body's ability to withstand in a short period of time. He patted Lina on the back and said softly, "Okay, I have completed the upgrade, you can get up now. I will continue to trouble you next time." Lina patted Chen Tianqi weakly and said angrily, "You sucked so hard, do you think I still have the strength? And there won't be a next time. I can't stand your torture. If you want energy, go to the sun and absorb it yourself." Looking at the angry Lina, Chen Tianqi had no choice but to support her, put his hands on her back, and send her spiritual energy to relieve her. "Come on, Reina, you are my power bank." "Who is your power bank? You sucked away my energy. Who'll dare to supply you with energy in the future?" Lina was nourished by the spiritual energy and regained some strength. But after this encounter, she understood the horror of Chen Tianqi's energy-absorbing speed. She couldn't bear it at all. If there is a next time, she will be the only one who suffers. Chen Tianqi joked. "How about you hand over the star control technology to me? You want nothing. If you want it, come and be my princess. Maybe you still have a chance." Lina rolled her eyes. How could Liang's signature skills be taught to outsiders so easily? Feeling the energy loss in her body, she felt a wave of fatigue, and now she just wanted to rest. "Please send me back to the dormitory, goddess, I am so tired." Faced with Lina's request, Chen Tianqi could only agree and helped her walk to the dormitory. After all, he sucked her into the state. In the sky, the peeping angel Yan was a little skeptical about life. Is the upgrade so fast and so simple now? End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.